presentation of Fox Sports.
We are Fox. We are Wisconsin.
It's another beautiful day in the state of Wisconsin. Miller Park, the Dome open and all set for Game 3 of the series. It's the Pittsburgh Pirates and your Milwaukee Brewers, and the Brew Crew going for a personal 12 straight win over Pittsburgh here today. Starting pitchers, couple of righties, Charlie Morton and Sean Markham. Morton having an outstanding season, but has never beaten the Milwaukee Brewers, and Sean Markham looks to stay sharp. He has not lost a game since the end of June. The Brewers also going for their 11th sweep of the 2011 season here, and they get it because of a crucial 1-0 win on Saturday in Game 2 of the series. And let's take you back and show you the big game. Yuniesky Betancourt on an 0-2 pitch in the second, providing all the offense. Marco Estrada in a spot start. 5 strong innings, only 1 hit given up, and then it's Saito in the 6th, Hawkins in the 7th, and K-Rod in the 8th, providing the bullpen strength. Enter John Axford, Xavier Paul surprising him with a leadoff triple. But the next 3 outs, it's McCutchen, and then it's Diaz, and then Walker will finally strike out, and the big threat ends, and Milwaukee wins it 1-0, and a beautiful win over the Pittsburgh Pirates to take Game 2. So that sets the stage for another potential sweep here today. And a guy named Uni B has been all right. Yuniesky Betancourt, a big second half turnaround. B.A. and Rock have more of that when we come back.
Sports Wisconsin is presented by Menards. Save big money on all your home improvement needs at Menards. By Triple Hop Brewed Miller Lite. Taste greatness. By AT&T. And brought to you by Toyota, proud sponsor of the Milwaukee Brewers and the Toyota territory at Miller Park. And another sellout crowd expected here at Miller Park. And how about Yuniesky Betancourt? What a story he has been. The month of August, he's hitting near 400. Has a couple of home runs, 11 runs batted in. He stayed hot yesterday. The only run of the game, a Uni-B home run yesterday. And the Brewers continue to play great baseball. Hi, everybody. Welcome from Miller Park alongside Bill Schroeder. I'm Brian Anderson. They salute German Heritage Day today. It's Bierbrauer Day. You're German. That's why he's smiling. So now we're looking forward to this final game of the series with the Pirates. And let's get into Betancourt a little bit, Rock, because his turnaround has been incredible. The fact that he is contributing in a major way right now.
Yeah, you know, when you talk about Betancourt and everybody talking about him in the pickup, he's a second-half hitter, but I don't think anybody thought he'd be this good in the second half. You just can't focus on one thing when you're talking about Betancourt. And as well as he's been swinging the bat, it's a combination of a lot of things. But the one thing that you can really go to is the mechanics. Betancourt on the left, you can see the extension he's able to get on the baseball. That belt buckle facing the pitcher. He's got good mechanics from the center field shot. And on the right, look at the leg turn, the stiff front leg. That's where you get the power. That's where you're able to center on the baseball. And look at the balance right down through the middle. In the beginning of the season, he was reaching with the baseball a little bit out in front. He is in perfect position to swing the bat lately in the second half.
And look at the transition. The first 52 games of the year, Betancourt hitting .220. He was struggling offensively, defensively. His bat has caught fire the last 60 games. That is a huge sample size to be able to raise the batting average to where he is today. He's hitting .270, I beg your pardon, to begin play today. And he is in the lineup as the Brewers go for the sweep against the Pittsburgh Pirates. They try to make it 8-0 against Pittsburgh this season. Can they continue the domination of the Pirates? We'll find out next on Fox Sports Wisconsin. And the fun continues here at Miller Park. A beautiful Sunday for baseball, and it is Craig Counsell bobblehead day here at Miller Park. All fan giveaway, and there is the Craig Counsell bobblehead. As we take a look at the National League Central, the Brewers open play with a 5-game lead. A 1-0 win yesterday. The Cardinals lost to the Rockies yesterday. So Milwaukee, with 42 left in the regular season, protecting a 5-game lead. Counsell in the starting lineup tonight, or today on his bobblehead day. Clint Hurdle and the Pittsburgh Pirates, they have not been able to solve the riddle of the Milwaukee Brewers. Milwaukee's won 7 straight this year. Xavier Paul, Garrett Jones, Andrew McCutchen at the top of Hurdle's lineup. You've got Neil Walker, Ryan Ludwig, Pedro Alvarez in the middle. Ronnie Cedeno, Michael McHenry, and Charlie Morton rounded out. That batting order brought to you by Piggly Wiggly, and that lineup will face Sean Markham.
Yeah, good numbers from Mark, and he's got back-to-back no decisions, both coming against the Cardinals. One at home, one on the road. Markham has not lost a game since June 29th against the Yankees.
Well, thanks to Zach Greinke, we got a sneak preview of the Beer Brouwer jerseys that the Brewers are sporting today, honoring German Heritage Day here at Miller Park. There they are, the Beer Browers. What do you think, Rock?
I like them. It's hard to tell. You know, they almost look a lot like the road blues that the Brewers wear. But Zach Greinke, pulled off his warm-up and got a surprise appearance at the plate and had the Beer Brouwer jersey on. So, unbeknownst to everybody.
He laid down a nice bunt yesterday. Markham against Xavier Paul. There's a strike, and it's 1-2. Xavier Paul coming in batting .271. Has 1 home run, 16 runs batted in. He almost hit one out of here yesterday. Paul had the triple in the 9th inning yesterday and was stranded at third base as Axford retired the next 3 hitters. That one in the air to center, almost in the same spot. This time Morgan, playing deeper today, makes the catch. Out number 1. Check the Brewers defensively. Ryan Braun, Tony Plush, Mark Kotze in the outfield. You've got Lopez, Betancourt, Counsell, and Fielder around the horn. And Jonathan Lucroy doing the catching today. You'll notice that a lot of these bench players getting the start today. A ton of left-handed batters against Charlie Morton. We'll get into that story next half inning. But the Brewers probably improved defensively in the infield with Lopez and Counsell in there. Sean Markham against Garrett Jones in there for a strike. Well, what a ball game yesterday, and what a season series it has been for the Milwaukee Brewers against the Pirates this year. A 1-0 win. Those are rare, especially in hitters' parks like Miller Park, to get a 1-0 final score.
It didn't look like it was going to end that way. You talked about Xavier Paul's triple. That led off the 9th inning. Nobody out. But Axford able to come back and retire the Pirates before the run was able to cross. It's been that kind of year offensively for Clint Hurdle. Pirates have not been able to score many runs, although their pitching for the most part has been very good.
Now the Pirates in the upper echelon in the National League at earned run average as Jones goes down the line. That is a fair ball to the wall. Garrett Jones on his way to second as Kotze brings it in. So a 1-out double for Garrett Jones. And the Pirates have a base runner in scoring position in the first inning. Pirates got disappointing news yesterday. Derek Lee, who they acquired from the Baltimore Orioles at the trade deadline, he went on the disabled list with a fracture in his hand. So it looks like Garrett Jones will be getting most of the starts at first base.
And he swings the bat pretty well, particularly against right-handed batters. There was a changeup from Markham that he was able to wait back on and rip down the right field line. One of the few power threats in the lineup for the Pirates, Garrett Jones. This guy's another one.
Now Andrew McCutchen, he's been hitting leadoff, but he is in the 3-hole today. McCutchen with 16 home runs this year, driven in 67. McCutchen leads the Pirates in homers. And a ball and a strike on Andrew McCutchen. Well, there's yesterday's winning pitcher, Marco Estrada, after making a start. I guess he's more comfortable hanging out with his bullpen mates.
Yeah, what a job. 5 scoreless innings against the Pirates, and doing a nice job filling in for Chris Narveson in his first start in quite some time. Boy, who would have thought, right? Marco Estrada seems to do whatever Ron Rickie asks him to do and does a nice job.
Brewers have still only used 6 starting pitchers all season. That is the fewest in the National League, as Markham gets McCutchen on a swing and a miss. Well, Estrada in 5 innings, no runs, also had a hit. And Estrada, who filled in for Greinke the first 5 weeks of the season, is going to be in the rotation in the short term for Chris Narveson. He'll definitely get 1 more start. He might get 2 more.
Yeah, well, he struggled a little bit early with his command. He didn't give up any runs, but it seems like he got better as the game went on. So 5 scoreless out of Marco Estrada. Couldn't ask for much more than that.
That one's hit hard. McCutchen to left. Ryan Braun cannot get it, and it bounces up and out of here. That'll be a ground rule double, and the Pirates are on top as McCutchen drives in Garrett Jones.
Well, off speed pitch from Sean Markham that stayed up in the strike zone, and McCutchen waited back nicely and hit it hard. Brewers outfielders playing a little bit deeper. There's that cut fastball. You can see the reaction from Markham right away. Did not like the location. Cut fastball, slider, one of the two, and Braun just not able to get to it.
And Jones scores easily. Back-to-back doubles by Jones and McCutchen. McCutchen now 30 doubles to go along with his 16 homers. So a run is in for the Pirates. And you can understand why Pirates fans might be saying, where was that yesterday? All we needed was 1 to tie. But the Brewers able to post a shutout against Pittsburgh yesterday. By the way, that double for McCutchen moves him into 4th in the league. The league leader in doubles is Justin Upton with the Diamondbacks with 33. Walker on the ground to Counsell. And there is out number 2. McCutchen advances to 3rd on the play. This homestand continues tomorrow. The Dodgers are in town, and it is a 4-game series with Los Angeles. Randy Wolf against Ted Lilly. 2 left-handers tomorrow.
Yeah,
Wolf and Lilly.
Very similar type pitchers too. Fastballs, curveballs, and I guess you could say they're pretty much interchangeable, those 2 guys. With that shutout yesterday for the Brewers pitching staff, now with 11 on the season, that's in the top half of the league. In that category, Philadelphia obviously leading the pack with 15.
It was a 5-pitcher shutout started by Estrada. Marco's next start will be Thursday afternoon. He'll match up against Clayton Kershaw, who is making a run at a Cy Young Award this year for the Los Angeles Dodgers. Ludwig down the right field line. That is slicing, and that is a foul ball. Ludwig hits it hard but fouls it away. It's a dangerous bat to try to keep down. Ludwig hitless on Friday. Did have a hit yesterday.
And in his days with the Cardinals, if you remember, a lot of his power came to right center. You know, center field around to the straightaway right field. It's good opposite field power.
Now, he has as much power as any hitter in the National League. He has gone into the far reaches of a lot of National League stadiums, including Busch Stadium, where I believe he still owns the longest home run at New Busch. He's had a couple of down years, though, after he was traded from the Cardinals to the Padres last season for the pennant race with San Diego, and traded from the Padres to the Pirates at the trade deadline this year. Yes, it is German Heritage Day. She's a looker.
Really no surprise that the numbers are going to fall off a bit. I mean, Ludwig is in perhaps the best spot in any lineup in baseball. When he was batting in front of Albert Pujols, he was hitting second. Pujols behind him in the lineup, and Guy going to get some pretty good pitches batting in front of Albert. Not the case with San Diego and Pittsburgh.
2 balls, 2 strikes on Ludwig. Got a runner at third. A run is in, and Ludwig right off the end of the bat. Another sellout crowd today here at Miller Park. Got your lederhosen working today, Rock?
I didn't bring it. I've got it at home. It was at the cleaners, actually.
That's too bad. Is that a double X? Ready for a 2-2, and that one's fouled away again. So long at bat here. Good battle between Ludwig and Markham.
A lot of different off-speed pitches by Markham to Ludwig, and was able to get an 86-mile-per-hour fastball in on his hands.
Good to see the Pirates playing along with the German Heritage Day. Piraten. I didn't know, but apparently that's what it is. That is not a misspelling on the uniform, as Markham strikes out Ludwig right at the bottom of the strike zone. Pirates up 1-0. Brewers coming up for the first time. Now Milwaukee coming to bat for the first time against Charlie Morton. Felipe Lopez will be in the leadoff spot today. Nigel Morgan batting second. Ryan Braun in the 3-hole. Fielder, Kotze, and Betancourt in the middle of Rennecke's order. And then Counsell, Lucroy, and Markham rounded out the Piggly Wiggly batting order against Charlie Morton.
Yeah, having a nice season this year. Coming off a year last year, he was 2-12 with an ERA at 7.5. in 17 starts. He's changed things around a bit. He's in the middle of a 17-inning scoreless streak right now, and obviously has not given up a run in his last 2 starts.
The Brewers will send up 5 left-handed hitters against Charlie Morton. Lopez, a switch hitter, batting lefty against the right-hander. And when Rock says he has changed things, he has drastically changed the way he pitches, and he has been able to post some good numbers this year, and he looks scarily similar to Roy Halladay in motion as Lopez bounces out for the first out of the inning. Defensively behind Morton, Ludwig, McCutchen, and Xavier Paul in the outfield. It's Alvarez, Cedeno, Walker, and Jones around the horn, with Michael McHenry doing the catching. And an infield defense that is a premium. With Morton on the mound, he gets a lot of ground balls.
Yeah, he used to be a power pitcher. He tried to strike everybody out, a four-seam and a big overhand curveball. Not the case anymore. He's changed his arm slot. He gets good sink on his fastball, but has struggled this year against left-handed batters. And we talk about struggle, we're talking about big time. Lefties hit him at a 384 clip, where right-handers are only hitting under 200. That is a drastic difference in the splits.
And that's why Rickie putting as many left-handers as possible in the starting lineup today. He said he was contemplating adding George Gutaris to that list of lefties, but decided to stick with Lucroy based on Lucroy's matchup with Markham his last time out. Now wanted to change the defensive battery. But there was a moment that you could have seen 6 left-handed hitters in the lineup, 6 of the 8 position players. As Morgan, a little flare out to short for out number 2. 2 quick outs for Charlie Morton. Well, Charlie Morton against the Giants on Monday. 8 shutout innings, Rocky. Gave up just 6 hits. And the Pirates able to win 2 out of 3 from the world champ.
Yeah, he's able to pound the strike zone. He gets ahead predominantly with the sinking fastball. He gets a lot of ground ball outs early in the count, which allows him to stay in ball games. He went 8 innings in through 115 pitches against the Giants. Walked 3, struck out 4. Ordinarily, you put the ball in play against Morton. That's why, as you mentioned, infield defense very important, and the Pirates have struggled in that department this year.
They're facing Ryan Braun with 2 away in the first inning. Charlie Morton has not given up an earned run since his July 29th start against the Phillies. There's 2 scoreless outings. He went 7 shutout against the Chicago Cubs, took a no decision. 8 shutout against the Giants. 15 scoreless innings with 11 strikeouts during that stretch. Took a no decision against the Cubs, and then he won against the Giants.
He's not afraid to come inside, particularly on right-handed batters. You saw Brawny have to get out of the way. Morton has hit 6 batters this year, but for whatever reason he has a tough time coming in on lefties. I think it's because a lot of the movement that he gets with his pitch. Tough for him to get that angle inside on lefties, not so much on right-handers.
And Braun walks on 4 straight pitches. So in a lineup that Morton knows that he must control the right-handed bats, he walks Braun, and now we'll have to deal with the big lefty slugger Prince Fielder. Fielder hitting .308 to start play today. 27 home runs, 89 runs batted in. And Braun and Fielder continue to put up incredible offensive numbers. They are in the top 5 in the National League. Both of them, Braun and Fielder, in RBIs, total bases, on base percentage, slugging percentage, and extra base hits.
And certainly in the MVP discussions. That goes without saying.
You just wonder if Braun and Fielder, as far as the MVP voting goes, if they're going to pull from each other, much like Adam Wainwright and Chris Carpenter did a couple of years ago for the Cy Young Award. But you could make a case for each.
Co-MVPs, right? Long way to go. I mean, we'll see what happens, but
that gets away a little bit, and Braun will hold his ground. Braun had a stolen base yesterday, and now 22 steals. That is a career high for Braun. And remember, he was not running for about 3 weeks of that stretch with the upper calf injury.
This might be a day that Ron Renneke might want to put some runners in motion with all the ground balls that the Pirates can get with Morton on the mound. The Pirates lead the National League in turning double plays. And Morton's a tough guy to elevate. He's only given up 5 home runs this year.
Three balls, no strikes. 7 consecutive balls for Charlie Morton. Kate would be next. 2 quick outs for Morton. A 4-pitch walk to Braun, now 3-0 on Fielder, who has been given the green light often this year. Takes that one. 3-1. Check the Powerball home run leaderboard as we start play today. Fielder with 27, Braun 22, equals his steals. And Rickie Weeks, who is on the comeback trail with 19. Hart has 17. Had a good visit with Rickie Weeks earlier today. Mark Concannon catching up with Rickie in our Brewers Live pregame. His fielder beats one into the ground. There is Cedeno, the shortstop on the shift, who makes a play. Inning over. 1-0 Pirates. We're off and running at Miller Park.
Towards getting back in the lineup, trying to recover from that severely sprained ankle. He took about 20 ground balls off the bat of first base coach Garth Orge. And Ron Renicky told me, guys, that he was amazed at how well Rickie moved today and that Rickie may be well ahead of schedule as to when he can go out on a rehab assignment. And he said, guys, he has never seen anyone in all of his days coaching, managing, or playing who has the pain tolerance that Rickie Weeks does. Just a tough customer.
Yeah, he is, and that rehab assignment will be a very important step for Rickie Weeks. There's a bouncer from Alvarez. Fielder will take it himself, and one away here in the second inning. Mark actually had a chance to hear from Rickie Weeks after his workout today. Here's what he had to say.
It's feeling good right now. You know, of course, you got to take it step by step, but you know, for the most part, I'm feeling pretty good right now.
You had a conversation with Dr. Raj. What have you been cleared to do, and how is the schedule looking timetable-wise for running and doing some more baseball activity?
I've been running a little bit on the treadmill, stuff like that, and came out here. It was first day I did some ground ball work, but I've been throwing, you know, trying to get myself acclimated to the baseball stuff. But for the most part, it's going pretty good right now.
And the biggest problem Ron Rennie's going to have is trying to keep Rickie Weeks out of the lineup and back on the active roster, because you know Rickie's going to want to come back early. And talking about a high tolerance of pain and being mentally tough, I agree. I really haven't seen too many tougher than Rickie.
Well, it was good to see him out with Garth Orge today and Roger Kaplinger doing some baseball activities. As Cedeno fouls it away. Quickly 0-2 on Ronnie Cedeno, batting 7th in the Pirate batting order today. Pirates got a run in the first off Markham. Back-to-back doubles by Jones and McCutchen. McCutchen with the RBI. That's going to head to the seats. And the count remains at 0-2.
Every Friday, high school and college students can purchase select tickets for half price, courtesy of Time Warner Cable. First 250 students can purchase tickets in the special Time Warner Cable Student Night section and get a free T-shirt. Some restrictions apply.
Crowd still making their way in. It's a packed house this afternoon on a Sunday in Milwaukee. What a great atmosphere in this ballpark. See, that'd be a good look for you, Rock. A little disappointed you didn't break it out today.
I thought about it, but
there's not many Not many guys that can get away with that. You're one of them, though.
But
it's like the bow tie.
If I had a shirt like that with a Fox Sports Wisconsin logo on the sleeve, I could wear it.
That's
true.
I
don't want to go against protocol.
I agree.
Get yourself in trouble doing that.
The rocker hosen. Hope Craig Counsell doesn't feel like he's being upstaged today with his bobblehead day. I think it's like a 2-for-1 package, you know. It's Beer Brower Day and Craig Counsell bobblehead.
He's in a Beer Brower shirt on his bobblehead.
Is that right?
Yeah.
I don't think he is, actually. On his bobblehead?
Well, he is.
Oh, the picture? I'm going to crack this open and find out. There's a called strike 3. And Cedeno is rung up. Out number 2 of the second inning.
Why don't you believe me? You got to see for yourself.
Crack this thing open here.
It's kind of insulting.
Hey, you're right.
Imagine that.
I mean, that's some excellent planning. He's in a Beer Brower jersey.
I'll tell you what threw you off was the box. It's a Brewer jersey on the box.
Yeah, I thought you were talking about the box.
No.
That looks pretty good. Beer Brower. Where should we put this? Right here?
Wish I'd said that.
Yeah. Stay right there. I hope he has a good day today on his bobblehead day. It's a little pressure. We have plenty of player reaction on the Craig Counsell bobblehead.
Now, when asked about this bobblehead, Count said that he's had a number of different bobblehead days around baseball.
Oh, okay. You know, he's been there, done that.
So this is, I bet it's the first Beer Brower shirt bobblehead that
Absolutely
he's had.
It is. You can go to the bank with that. Perhaps downplaying the bobblehead day. Take a little pressure off himself during the game. There's a ton of Craig Counsell jerseys in the ballpark today. I know that. Hometown favorite, Craig Counsell. No truth to the rumor that Rickie started him today because of his bobblehead day. 1-2 to McHenry and a swing and a miss. Sean Markham, a 3-up, 3-down second inning. Back-to-back strikeouts gives him 3 in the early going. Yuniesky Betancourt, Counsell coming up. The bottom of the second inning at beautiful Miller Park. Two teams going in opposite directions. The Pirates since July 26, 3-15, while the Brewers have won 15 out of 17, and the numbers do not lie. Scoring a ton of runs. The pitching has been outstanding, especially the bullpen pitching. And the Brewers have put some distance between themselves and the rest of the division, especially the Pirates. Pittsburgh starts the day 12 games back in the National League Central. At the All-Star break, the Pirates had a half-game lead. They were in a share of the lead with the St. Louis Cardinals. That's how fast the fall has been as Kotsay comes up with a base hit. Kotsay got a start on Thursday against the Cardinals. He had 2 hits and a single to start the second inning.
Hey, he's really starting to swing the bat once again, and not a better time to get hot. A mistake from Morton. Fastball up pretty straight, and Kotsay able to beat the shift. Cedeno is playing up the middle. And, talking about that graphic, the difference between the two teams. For the Brewers, they're starting to swing the bats and score runs. For the Pirates, they still have a tough time scoring runs, but their pitching had a rough stretch, a really bad stretch. And that's what cost them their lead in the division.
While the Brewers boasting a balanced ball club right now as Betancourt pulls one foul in the seats. Well, Yuniesky Betancourt, what a story he has been. We talked about him in the open. Yesterday with his 9th home run on the Powerball home run count. It was a second inning homer, and that's all that the Brewers pitching staff would need. They used Estrada to start it. He went 5. Saito, Hawkins, Axford finished it out.
I'm trying to think back on all the years that I've been around here of a guy that has changed his season around like Betancourt's been able to do, and I can't think of anybody. I mean, he has scuffled as mightily as you can struggle early in the season in the first half, and such a difference. A different guy, different approach, different mechanics, and a lot of it has to do with confidence. And you talked to Dale Swaim about Betancourt. He'll tell you, we knew he was a second half hitter when we got him. This is Dale talking, but I don't think anybody thought he'd be this hot.
Betancourt, you can take the numbers on a lot of different levels. He's raised his batting average 46 points in the last 46 games. But if you go back to a different stretch, his first 52 games he was hitting .220. Over the last 60, he is hitting .312. As we mentioned in our open today, that is a large sample size, and that shows a lot of sustained success from Betancourt at the plate as he flies out to center field here for the first out of the inning. And here comes Craig Counsell. The crowd already cheering Counsell on his bobblehead day. That tells you all you need to know about how Craig Counsell is revered here in Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
He might not show it, but that's got to be a big moment for Craig Counsell. Just the applause that he got from the folks here at Miller Park, that's got to mean a lot to a player.
Counsell, the owner of 2 World Series rings. He won one with the Florida Marlins and the Arizona Diamondbacks. He was the NLCS MVP with the Diamondbacks that year in 01, the year they overtook the New York Yankees in the World Series, but wants nothing more than to play for a winner here in Milwaukee, his hometown team, as he's hit by a pitch, and Counsell is aboard first and second with one away, and even that gets a standing ovation. It's going to be one of those days for Craig Counsell, you better believe it.
Yep, so enjoy it. Yep. Not even close, this pitch. It was a slider that got him right below the knee. You can see where McHenry's set up. He's actually set up on the outside corner and missed badly with that pitch. Now that's a hat that I would like. The Clements sausage hat. Of course, you have to be in the back row to wear that.
Yeah, and you can't eat it. That's a meathead right there.
What goes better than with beer, right? German Heritage Day. Get a big old Stein and a couple of Clements brats. That's a day, my friend.
Somebody get rocket tissue.
Yeah, I'm telling you, I'm ready to get in the seats now.
Here's Lucroy with 2 on, 1 away. Brewers down a run. Pirates got a first inning run against Markham. Well, this is the key hitter in this second inning. Lucroy up with 1 out. You got the pitcher Markham up next. This big crowd ready to roar early today. Two 2-0 on Lucroy. Jonathan hitting .284 to start play today. He has 8 homers and 49 runs batted in. Has had a very solid season offensively. 3 hits in this series. That includes a run batted in, a 2-out RBI on Friday night. Breaks his bat here. Alvarez missed the tag. Or did he get it? The throw to first is in time, and the third base umpire saying he got Kotsay. Kotsay disagreeing. That's going to be a double play to end the inning. It did not look like Alvarez tagged Kotsay, but Hirschbeck made the call quickly, and it is a 5-3 double play to end the threat. He be the judge. Not agree with the out call from third base umpire John Hirschbeck, and it appears that Kotsay has a point, and that would be Hirschbeck's angle right there. But from this angle, you can see that it didn't look like Alvarez got him. Close play, though.
Yep.
And it ends as a double play to end the inning, and now Charlie Morton will have Markham leading off in the third.
That's just one of those that's just too close to argue about, really. I mean, how can you argue either way on a call like that?
Morton into center field. That's hit well, and Nigel Morgan cannot get there. He knocks it over his head, and that'll be a double for the Pirate pitcher, Charlie Morton.
And Morton hitting .027 on the season and able to get himself a leadoff double against Sean Markham on the fastball right down the middle. Anybody with a bat in their hand is dangerous. You make a mistake, it's going to hurt you. And Nigel Morgan not able to catch up to that line drive.
Charlie Morton had just 1 hit this year coming into this game. It was a double. Now his second hit and his second double. 2 for 38 at the plate this season. That's a leadoff double, and now the top of the order, Xavier Paul. Markham has had a tough time with opposing pitchers at the plate this year. That one is hit pretty well. Right center. Nigel Morgan is there. He makes a catch. Morton will tag and end up at third base. The first out of the inning. Hey, a reminder, after the game on Fox Sports Wisconsin, join Tom Brokaw for Boys in the Hall. The personal stories of some of baseball's greatest legends. This week it's Yogi Berra. Boys in the Hall after the game, presented by Subway Restaurants, where winners eat. Rock, I notice Nigel Morgan playing a lot deeper today than he normally does. And able to run that one down from Xavier Paul.
Maybe it has something to do with that triple that Paul hit over his head in yesterday's ball game. A little bit deeper. Nigel normally a lot more shallow than that. But you're going to play shallow anytime the pitcher's up, particularly a guy that's only got one hit on the season. Morton just got a good swing at that pitch and knocked it over his head. That's not something you can really fault Nigel Morgan for. Now, you mentioned that pitchers have given Markham some problems from time to time. Sean's one of those middle speed type pitchers. He doesn't have that big fastball that pitchers have a tough time catching up to. And when he doesn't hit his spots, a pitcher's going to get a decent swing. And he's not going to mess around too much with changeups to a pitcher either.
In on the hands, and that one's fouled away. Got a fastball in there on Garrett Jones.
Hey, Brewer fans, want a free terrace level game ticket? Then complete a BP Come On Back card by making 7 purchases of 8 or more gallons of gas at participating gas stations. Call 414-902-4000 or visit brewers.com.
You got a nice crowd hanging out in the picnic area outside Miller Park. A lot of tailgating earlier today. Great weather. Temperatures in the mid-70s today here in Milwaukee.
Cooled down a lot yesterday after the rains came through.
Glorious Midwest weather in the month of August. Three balls and a strike on Jones. Pirates have a runner at third and 1 out. And fouled off his leg. Markham going in there again. And he drops Garrett Jones. That can't feel good.
No. Yeah, right off the inside of the knee, and that is not going to feel good, and it's going to be sore for a while. That's that late movement coming in. Looked like a pitch that was breaking in on Jones, and got the bat head out on it. Smashed it right off his knee. Catchers are used to that. First baseman, not so much.
And not a lot of meat in that area where he pointed. So Jones tries to shrug it off. That's the kind of pitch, though, that has to leave a memory for a hitter.
So you come in there again. Might be a little timid going after it.
Full count to Garrett Jones. He doubled and scored in the first inning. Brewers have their infield halfway in on a hard hit ball. They might take a shot at home plate. Jones fouls it back at a better cut. Ron Rickie rolled the dice yesterday, brought the infield in the 9th inning. And in a span of 2 pitches with a runner at third and nobody out, had 2 outs. Axford with a couple of ground balls right at infielders from Andrew McCutchen and Matt Diaz. Axford would pick up the save yesterday and a 1-0 Brewer win. And Jones draws a walk. So Jones walks first and third with 1 away. 9th inning yesterday, a thriller. Late afternoon start. It was a triple to start the inning by Xavier Paul. That might be why Morgan is playing deep today. And then McCutchen on the next pitch, bounce one to Betancourt. Paul could not chance it. Then the next pitch after that, it was a ground ball to Hairston. 3 pitches, a triple and 2 groundouts. And then Axford finally struck out Neil Walker to win the ballgame. and secure the 7th consecutive win for the Brewers over the Pirates this year.
And 31st in a row for John Axford. I think that was in severe jeopardy after that first hitter of the inning. But the Axeman able to come up big.
Axford with his 34th save. And every save, every consecutive save adds to a franchise record. Swing and a miss from McCutchen. Breaking ball from Sean Markham makes it 0-2.
Been pretty good during the day. Look at that batting average. That includes his double in the first inning.
Markham could use a strikeout. McCutchen a tough guy to double up. He runs well. And a swing and a miss. He strikes him out. McCutchen chased a couple. And a big out for Sean Markham as he retires the Pirates' 3-hole hitter.
Yeah, one of the best all season long in driving in runs. Back-to-back times with a man at third base, less than 2 outs. McCutchen not able to get the job done. Yesterday's ball game in the 9th. He got the ground ball, was not able to score Xavier Paul. Now a 3-pitch strikeout with a man at third.
It was a great look at the release of a cut fastball. Just a subtle twist of the wrist. Breaks away from a right-handed hitter. McCutchen chased it. Now Neil Walker with 2 on. Walker made the final out yesterday. 0 for 1 today. Grounded out in the first inning. The Pittsburgh native Neil Walker. He was a high school star in the Pittsburgh area. Football and baseball. All-state quarterback.
Yeah, the difference between a slider and a cutter is that, the way the pitcher gets rid of the baseball, the fingers are going to be on the side of the baseball when he gets rid of it on a slider. But with a cut fastball, fingers on top, and it's all about finger pressure. The middle finger on the baseball last. That gives it that little dart action right at the end.
And it rolls off his finger. A pitch that Mariano Rivera has made famous. Way inside, almost hit Walker. I've talked to a few pitchers who throw the cut fastball, and the consensus is if you're trying to teach it. I remember talking to Mark DeFelice about it. You try to paint the backside of an X. Does that make sense to you? Paint the backside of an X with your hand. That's how you throw a cut fastball.
Really?
I don't know what that means.
I got to be honest. No, I don't know what that means.
So if there's a backside of an X, if you draw an X and you paint the backside of it as the ball rolls off that finger. We'll have to go to Jerry Augustine with that one, maybe.
Yeah, you're going to have to on that. Like throwing a football, maybe? I mean, that's how you throw a football.
Yeah, maybe so. There you go. What a way to salvage something out of that, Rock.
Yeah, to give me a heads up on the paint the backside of the next phrase. Maybe let me think about it a little bit.
It is Sunday.
Day of rest. Of course, yesterday was the day of rest for us.
So maybe it would look something like this. I don't know.
That's an X. Now, I understand what an X is, but how do you paint the back side of it?
Which side is the front side? Which is the back side?
Exactly.
How do you draw your X's?
And don't ever use my telestrator again.
Oh, that wasn't me. Full count. Markham a chance to get out of this mess. 3-2, and a swing and a shot. Oh, Betancourt, what a play to get the out. On a short hop, Yuniesky Betancourt picks it clean, and Markham is out of the inning. A scoreless third for Sean Markham of the Brewers, and it's still 1-0 Pirates. On Fox Sports Wisconsin is presented by Piggly Wiggly, the official supermarket of Fox Sports Wisconsin. By Ho Chunk Gaming Wisconsin, your ticket to more. And by Subway. Try our $5 featured footlong of the month. Subway, where winners eat. Back at beautiful Miller Park on a Sunday in Milwaukee, and a sellout here today. Another sellout at Miller Park. It'll be the 22nd sellout of the year, and a weekend full of sellouts. Remember, the homestand continues tomorrow. The Dodgers are coming in. 4-game series with Los Angeles, and it's a 7-game homestand in all. The Brewers off to a good start. 2-0 so far. The best home record in all of baseball. Milwaukee at 43-15 at Miller Park this year. Incredible winning percentage in a sport that does not normally have a home field advantage. Sean Markham leads off after the double play ball to end the second inning. Well, Markham would love to return the favor on Charlie Morton, who doubled against Markham to start last inning. Got a piece, stays in there. Markham's lone major league home run came as a Brewer earlier this year. It was a grand slam, and it came on a 2-strike pitch. Markham batting .163 at the beginning of play today. Always likes to help himself at the plate. A grounder out to Cedeno. And the Pirates have the first out in this third inning.
Hey, today's Brewers game is brought to you by Miller High Life. This summer, find out how giving back bottle caps can give returning vets a piece of the high life. Go to MillerHighLife.com for details.
Pirates with a first inning run with a 1-0 lead as we play in the home third. Back to the top of the order. And Felipe Lopez. Lopez getting the start at third base today and leading off. And 2 ground ball outs so far today. 2 up, 2 down, and Charlie Morton getting a lot of ground balls, as he normally does when he's right.
Had 2 fly ball outs. Betancourt flew to center, and Nigel Moore going to pop out to short. Everything else has been on the ground. He has not struck out a batter, which is par for the course for Morton. 78 strikeouts and 126 in the third innings before today's game.
Two gone, and Nigel Morgan, the former Pirate. Terrific story in the New York Times about Nigel Morgan. Check that out. You don't see the New York Times dropping by Milwaukee all that often. But Nigel Morgan and Bob Uecker with features in the New York Times this baseball season. I guess it was more of a story on Nigel Morgan and Tony Plush. It's a 2-character story.
I was going to say it probably just wasn't a story about sports. Is there much of a comparison between Nigel and Ueck? Both of them pretty funny guys, but that's where it pretty much ends, wouldn't you say?
Corey Provis said that Bob Uecker has an alter ego as well. Betty Davis. Morgan's Tony Plush. He also has a third one, Tony Gumble. That's kind of the sedate, I assume is a spinoff of Bryant Gumbel, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, see, now that doesn't work. I mean, you can only have one alter ego.
I don't know.
You can't have more than one.
I would disagree with that.
I mean, one's even pushing it.
They just hatch on their own, Rock. That one's inside, almost hit Morgan.
He basically has no control over it.
I mean, they, you know, whatever, however it surfaces, just let them fly. Trying to reach with 2 outs, with Braun coming up. And a swing and a miss. He chased one down in the dirt. Charlie Morton has the big sinker working today.
Top four of the Dodge-Ram game reset. The only run, Andrew McCutcheon's double in the first, scoring Garrett Jones to make it 1-0. Sean Markham has given up 1 run on 3 hits, has worked out of a couple of jams. He's got 4 strikeouts. Markham trying to go 2-0 against the Pirates this season, guys.
Yes, he is. And Markham, giving up that first inning run, has been able to pitch out of a couple of jams. He worked out of a bit of a mess in the first inning, retiring Walker and Ludwig, and then escaped a first and third 1-out situation last inning as Ryan Ludwig bats for the second time. Ludwig struck out looking in the first inning with a runner at third base. That ended the frame. Ludwig will be a free agent at the end of the season, and you figure he'll have some opportunities around baseball, especially in the right kind of lineup.
Makes a big difference, the guys batting around you in that batting order. Ludwig, not the first guy that has struggled going to a new team that doesn't have, big time hitters around him in the batting order.
Ball and 2 strikes on Ludwig. And a little flare to right. Katse got a good jump. He's right there for the out. 1 away. All right, Rock. Our Carsoup.com email the booth question. Kevin in Rice Lake wants to know, does the Brewers' domination of the Pirates at home become a mental thing for Pittsburgh?
I think it does. Absolutely. And I think it's a mental thing for the Brewers in that they have a lot of confidence facing the Pirates, particularly here at Miller Park. What is it, 35 now and 3 against the Pirates here at Miller Park? And although there are a lot of different players on both of the clubs, just the Pirates coming in, that you just have an uneasy feeling about you when you're coming into a ballpark where you really have struggled quite a bit. And it was just the opposite before all this happened. Before 2007, the Brewers had struggled mightily at PNC Park, and I know it got into the Brewers' heads.
Yeah, since the 07 season, as that one is just foul. Brewers have won 35 out of 38. Goes back to the 2007 campaign, which was Ryan Braun's first year in the big leagues. And the numbers are very impressive, especially the runs scored. And remember, the Brewers giving up a couple of those late leads against the Pirates 2 seasons ago. As that one is lined to right. Katse there. And 2 men are out in the 4th inning. There was a stretch where the Brewers had won 22 consecutive games against the Pirates at Miller Park.
Their first day in here on Friday, Clint Hurdle addressed it by saying, let's deal with the elephant in the room, meaning that, how you guys feel coming into this ballpark. Now, Clint Hurdle was not a big part of that. I mean, this is all new to him, this Pirate Brewer domination. And actually, Clint Hurdle, while he was with the Colorado Rockies, had a lot of success here at Miller Park.
That's right. And he referenced that in the first Pirates trip to Milwaukee. Didn't want to hear anything about this long streak, and it was interesting how the tune changed starting this series. A little flare. Nigel Morgan cannot get there. It's a base hit for Cedeno. And that is the other part of playing deep in the outfield. Flares like that tend to fall. AT&T trivia today. Besides Counsell, who on the Brewers roster, coach or player, has won a World Series title? That's a good question. Thinking about the Brewer coaching staff.
Won a World Series title as a player, or can it be as a coach as well?
We'll just say as a coach or a player.
Right. Okay.
So in possession of a World Series ring. McHenry into left off the end of the bat, and Braun is there, and the inning is over. Braun ready to lead off. We're on our way to the bottom of the 4th. Charlie Morton has shut out Milwaukee on a 1-hitter through the first 3. Braun fielder Katse coming up. set to lead off here in the bottom of the 4th inning, and on Friday, Ryan Braun homered, hit a long home run into the bleachers in the Lowe's level in the outfield. Opposite field homer, giving Braun his 22nd of the season. And Braun is making the push. He is 10 away from Prince Fielder's mark. This is through the first 5 seasons in the major leagues. Just some incredible names to soak in on this list. And Ralph Kiner, 215 career home runs at the top of this list in his first 5 seasons. That might stand for a while. If Pujols didn't catch him, I don't think anybody is going to catch Ralph Kiner. But it looks like a Hall of Fame list, and Ryan Braun is off to a Hall of Fame start to his career. One thing to keep in mind, Rock, excuse me, that, you know, Braun, he spent the first 6 weeks of his 07 season in the minor leagues. He had 12 home runs in the minor leagues that year before he was finally promoted at the end of May.
Yeah, he was something else. You know, the Brewers felt as though he was ready offensively. They just felt as though they needed more work over at third base, which turned out to be the case. The Brewers very happy that they brought him up when they did. I was just going to say, you know, Ralph Kiner on the top of that list. We're probably going to see Ralph Kiner when we go to New York to play the Mets.
Yeah, I hope so. He stops by every now and then.
Yeah, he's on the air from time to time. The Mets broadcasters. I grew up listening to Ralph Kiner on television in New Jersey. Ralph Kiner, Lindsey Nelson, and Bob Murphy.
Yeah, that's right.
That was awesome.
Yep, great announcers. That was back when you had these super stations like WGN and WTBS and WOR in New York, broadcasting the Mets across the country. Kiner's corner. But nobody has been able to put together a start to a career like Ralph Kiner.
Right.
And in an era when you didn't see that kind of home run production.
Man, home runs. You hit 20, 25 home runs. That was considered to be a big home run season. Not anymore. Of course, it's trending that way nowadays. Last couple of years, I mean, you have Jose Bautista over there in Toronto with 50 home runs last year, but you don't see the kind of home runs leaving ballparks these days the way you did.
I think we have moved past the era where that record is going to be challenged.
Right.
Throughout the mid to late 90s and early 2000s, could have happened. As Braun waves at one. Charlie Morton has electric stuff today. And another strikeout for Morton. Speaking of home runs, how about Prince Fielder on the very next pitch after Braun's homer? Fielder whistled one into the Lowe's level in deep right center field.
Right after the Pirates had it's a little bit close in that 4-0 lead. It was 4-2, but Braun and Fielder took care of that very quickly.
Fielder with 27. And that is a solid look on Beer Brower Day at Miller Park. That's about your size, Rock. That's where it went. How do you say foam finger in German, Rock?
I don't know. It's a good question.
Knew I should have brushed up on my German before this game.
Right.
All those good lines that are just sitting out there vacant. 2-0 to Prince. 2-1 on Fielder. That's a good testament to the stuff of Charlie Morton. Prince Fielder is sitting dead red there. He gets it, and it just falls off the table, that sinker ball.
That arm angle that he's come up with, they started with that with Morton in the offseason, and it's worked out very well for him. Just keeping the baseball in the ballpark, doesn't walk anybody. And right now in the middle of a stretch, he has not been scored upon in 20 innings.
Morton had 2 scoreless innings against the Phillies after he had given up 8 runs against Philadelphia back on the 29th. He finished his outing with 2 scoreless. And then back-to-back starts not allowing a run to the Cubs and the Giants. And here he is with 3 scoreless in Milwaukee. Fielder, another little tapper. Charlie Morton snatches it up, throws him out for the second out of the inning.
Not often you see Prince out in front of a fastball on a 3-1 count. He was. That's how much movement that Charlie Morton fastball has. That was at 94 miles an hour. He's been pretty consistent. He hasn't really had to throw too many other pitches other than that sinker. I guess why go away from it if it's working?
Brewers have just 1 hit, and it's the man at the plate, Mark Kotsay. He singled to lead off the second inning. Kotsay breaks his bat, and this is going to be an easy inning for Charlie Morton. Picking him up and putting him down in Milwaukee today. We go to the 5th.
Here at Miller Park after the Brewers winning 1-0 yesterday, and today's Tavern of the Game winner is the Spot Tavern in Ashland. If they call the Brewers in the next 24 hours, they get 40 Miller Lite beer pen tickets to a Brewers home game in April and May of 2012. This offer courtesy of the Tavern League of Wisconsin and Miller Lite.
No score. Or rather 1-0 Pirates as we go to the 5th inning. Brewers have not scored, and being shut out on a 1-hitter by Charlie Morton. Morton leads off the 5th. He doubled his last time up. And Markham stuffs a fastball in there. Charlie Morton with only 2 hits this year. They have both been doubles. 2 for 38 at the plate. High in the air, shallow right center. And Kotsay wants it for out number 1. Back to our AT&T trivia. The question today, besides Craig Counsell, who on the Brewers roster, coach or player, has won a World Series title as a coach or a player? And there is the list. Rickie and K-Rod were together with the Angels. Dale Swaim, the Boston Red Sox as a third base coach. John Shelby was on the '88 Dodger club. Still wears that '88 World Series ring.
Dale's got a ring from the Yankees too.
That's right. John Shelby is very excited these days. His nephew was promoted to the big leagues with the Pirates. see the list on where these guys have played and their titles. An '83 championship for T-Bone with the Baltimore Orioles, and then in '88 with the Dodgers. The Kirk Gibson home run. Fly ball to left from Paul. 2 outs in the inning. I was talking to John Shelby before the game. He spent a lot of years as a coach with the Pittsburgh Pirates. And he is excited to have his nephew in a big league uniform. His sister's son, Josh Harrison, who made his major league debut yesterday. He pinch ran. John Shelby is the eye in the sky for the Brewers. So he's in uniform for all the pregame work, hitting ground balls, fly balls, working with the outfielders. He and Ed Cedar team up with the outfielders, and then during the game he's up there and he's got a chart. He's got all kind of lines and spray charts going, and sets the defense.
Sets the defense and is developing his own spray chart, and that he'll watch and see who's up, where the outfield is positioned, and where the ball is hit. So they have a pretty good idea the next time these two meet. Now in Pittsburgh next week, you get a sense for how a guy's swinging the bat that particular day, that particular series. Because throughout the season, hitters are going to be hitting the baseball a little bit differently as the season goes on. It's not just all year they do the same thing. That's why you have advanced scouts. That's why you have updated scouting reports.
Now, John Shelby was one of the best defensive outfielders in his time. He was considered to be a defensive specialist, and he's brought a lot of that. As a matter of fact, John Shelby was one of the key pieces to bringing Nigel Morgan to Milwaukee. They went to T-Bone and asked him about Morgan, who he coached with the Pirates, and he said, by all means, bring him in here. And that has turned out to be a stroke of genius for Doug Melvin and the Brewers, bringing in Nigel Morgan, having his best year as a big leaguer and in a pennant race for the first time in his career. On the corner, of called strike 3. Markham peels one off on Garrett Jones in a 3-up, 3-down fifth. Brewer half of the fifth inning. The Beer Browers trailing 1-0. And a big crowd on hand, and so far Charlie Morton has taken this big crowd out of the game. He's working on a one-hit shutout. He only hit a Mark Kotze single to start the second inning. Here's Yuniesky Betancourt. Drove in the only run yesterday in a 1-0 Brewer win. Betancourt flew out to center field in the second inning. Hitting .270. Never thought he'd see that kind of batting average. That's off the glove of Alvarez and no throw. A hot shot from Betancourt. Alvarez at the very least saves a double. Almost made a great play to rob Betancourt of an extra base hit.
And he continues to stay back and hit the ball hard. And hitting the ball hard all over the diamond. That's going to be a base hit. Only the second for the Brewers. Both singles. A mistake by Morton. He left it up and in, and Yuni able to rip it down the line.
Craig Counsell, another big hand on Craig Counsell bobblehead day. Counsell was hit by a pitch in the second inning and got a standing ovation. Did you see that last play courtesy of Exmo on Fox?
Defense has been a bit shaky for the Pirates this year.
Betancourt almost taking the glove right off of Pedro Alvarez. Now we'll see if Ron Rickie wants to put the running game in motion here with the ground ball specialist Morton. Brewers haven't had many base runners. Got a walk, 2 hits, and a hit batter, and Betancourt takes off, swing and a miss, and this will turn into an out. Hit and run was on. Tough pitch for Counsell to get a bat on, and it's an easy play at second base.
Yeah, that's what's important about a hit and run. You got to be able to make contact, and Ronnie Cedeno just waiting for Betancourt. Hit and run, you don't get as good a jump as you would when you have a straight steal. You want to make sure the pitcher goes to home plate, and because of that, he's an easy out.
Now Charlie Morton reinventing himself this year. If you haven't seen Roy Halladay pitch, or you haven't seen Charlie Morton pitch, he basically patterned his delivery and rotation and motion after Roy Halladay, and has gone from a power pitcher from a different arm slot, much like Halladay did early in his career, to this current version. Roy Halladay #2, and it's working for him. That's not a bad pitcher to pattern your game after, as he strikes out Craig Counsell.
It's somewhat dangerous to try and compare a young pitcher, Charlie Morton, to one of the best in the business, but we're comparing the deliveries, basically, not the results. And you can see pretty similar tuck as that knee comes up. Tucks it a little bit more than Halladay, but the release point very similar, and that's why he gets good sink on his fastball. He's been able to throw a lot of strikes, and that's a delivery that you can repeat time and time again. It's a pretty standard delivery, and that's why he's been so consistent in throwing strikes.
And you figure Charlie Morton is only going to get better and better as he continues to perfect this motion and delivery. He's only 27 years of age. Lucroy on the ground, picked by Alvarez, and he makes the play for the out. Well done. And Morton is out of it, gives up an infield hit to start, but a caught stealing makes it a 3-batter inning for Charlie Morton. Still 1-0 Pirates.
Another close game, and the Brewers are 25-15 in one-run games this season, one of the best records in baseball. Ron Rickie told me this is another result of superior pitching. Most one-run games are at 10-9 or 8-7. Rickie says while he'd like easier victories with bigger margins, he enjoys managing close games where a bunt, a steal, a stolen base can make a big difference. The Brewers with a flair for the dramatic this season, guys.
Yeah, no question, and I know Rickie is enjoying the fact that his first managerial job is a National League job, because he does enjoy the National League game a lot more strategy involved. There's a swinging bunt, going to be a tough play. Markham lines it up and takes care of the speedy McCutcheon.
Well, he positions himself pretty well after he gets rid of the baseball. That's why he's such a good fielder. He squares up those shoulders and almost like a cornerback. Check out Markham, able to get off to the mound and using a bare hand, able to get him out. Pretty speedy base runner going down the line.
Sean Markham is still the owner of the best defensive play of the year for a Brewer, I think, in my mind. Certainly for a pitcher this year. That play in Denver he made against the Rockies. College shortstop turned pitcher, and he has a great feel for the game. He positions himself well after his pitch to make plays. Like Greinke, Sean Markham was very excited to be traded to a National League club, just so he could hit and be a part of the game a little more. That one's in the air to center field. Nigel Morgan going back. That ball's carrying, and Morgan able to run it down. I tell you, Morgan has taken a few steps back in center field today, and it has gathered him some long fly balls near the wall.
Now the ball's going to carry pretty well here at Miller Park with everything opened up. You got the glass panels open, and the roof for the most part is closed, or I should say opened, and the Niger has to go back, and I'll tell you, Neil Walker put a charge into that baby. They call that a banana route. But he got the out.
Right. And that'll be duly noted by John Shelby, which is why you have an eye in the sky, so he has a clear view of that. Nigel Morgan having some fun with the fans. So 2 gone. Here's Ludwig. Ludwig has had a tough time with Sean Markham today. He's 0 for 2. Struck him out looking in the first inning with a man on, with a runner at third, as a matter of fact, and then he got him to fly out to right in the fourth. Quickly 0-2 on Ludwig. Brewers wrapping up this series today, bringing in the Dodgers tomorrow. Ted Lilly and Randy Wolf tomorrow. A bouncing ball. Counsell is there. And the side is retired. 1, 2, 3, 4. Sean Markham. He's retired 7 in a row. Brewers down 1-0. Markham will lead off when we come back. reminding you to please play responsibly. By Airtran, go, there's nothing stopping you. And by the Miller Lite Vortex bottle, taste greatness. Beautiful sight, Miller Park on a sunny Sunday. And this copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Brewers, may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without express written consent of the Brewers. On Beer Brower Day, the Broad was an odds-on favorite. And the Big Broad was going along well, but then the Little Broad had a different idea. Nice catch by Drew Olson. Well done. Mark Kotze trying to help out. Making a memory, Rob.
They get confused.
It's Beer Brower Day.
It's hard to see in there.
Sean Markham leads off 1-0 Pirates. Quickly 0-2 on Markham. Charlie Morton is on his A game today. He's given up just 2 hits. Got a hit, an infield hit from Betancourt, a clean single from Kotze in the second. That has been it. It's been a walk, a hit batter, but a double play, and they caught stealing, and Morton has faced just 2 over the minimum at this point.
And as we get into the 6th inning for the Brewers, Charlie Morton's pitch count is at 61. So he's got a lot left in that tank. His last outing, he went 115 pitches.
Very Halladay-like in efficiency.
So if you're thinking about getting Morton out of the ball game, you're going to have to start getting that pitch count up.
I'd say the one big difference right now between Charlie Morton and Roy Halladay is the cut fastball, the pitch that controls the inside part of the plate to a left-hander.
That and 200 wins.
And that, and a Cy Young Award. A couple of them.
Yeah. That's the amazing thing about guys like Halladay. They do it year after year after year.
He strikes out Sean Markham, does Morton. 4th strikeout for Charlie Morton. You can click on the Fan Zone tab on the FoxSportsWisconsin.com homepage. You can win prizes like team merchandise, game tickets, unique fan experiences, tech toys, and more. And if you're not a member, join now. It's fast and free, and it's all at the Fan Zone tab, FoxSportsWisconsin.com. Charlie Morton with 1 out. Bottom of the 6th inning, back to the top of the order in Felipe Lopez. Brewers in their Beer Brower jerseys, the Pirates in their Piraten jerseys, honoring German heritage here today at Miller Park. Well, just assuming that the Brock was going to win today, he just figured it played right into his hands.
So you figure that it's fixed, the sausage race?
Thought maybe today, but apparently not.
That would be disappointing to learn that the Clemens sausage race is fixed.
I got a little suspicious when Chorizo won on Cerveceros Day. But it could have been a coincidence, I guess. Lopez getting the start at third base for Casey McGee today. Rickie trying to stack as many left-handers as possible. Morton for the season has struggled against left-handed hitting, but not today. Oh, that didn't miss by much. Yep, it was all in place.
I think that maybe might have been a little Kotze right there in that suit.
I don't know. It's possible. He was sure engaged in that process.
He was into it.
Little tapper to Morton. 2 gone in the inning. Boy, what a day he is having on the mound. Charlie Morton.
3 in a row. 3 starts in a row now. After getting hit around pretty good against the Phillies, he's been dynamite. He's 1 out away from 6 consecutive scoreless innings, giving him 23 straight.
Nigel Morgan with 2 away. Brewers on the opposite end of a 1-0 game. Getting a taste of their own medicine from yesterday. Think about a 1-0 game, one swing of the bat, we're all even up. Morgan trying to reach for Ryan Braun. Pirates scored a first inning run, back-to-back doubles from Garrett Jones and Andrew McCutchen. McCutchen drove in Jones. That has been it. Markham and Morton hooked up in a dandy. Nigel Morgan, the former Pirate, 0 for 2 today, and he squares, takes a ball. 3-0 the count on Nigel.
Anything you can do to get Ryan Braun to the plate with a man on base.
Ball 4. So Morgan is aboard. A 2-out base runner for Ryan Braun. And the second walk issued by Charlie Morton. He has a hit batter as well. So 2 hits, 2 walks, and a hit batter. The 5 base runners today for Milwaukee.
And up to the plate comes a guy that has been very good against Charlie Morton. 5 for 10 with 3 walks and a home run is Ryan Braun. But this is a much different Charlie Morton this year than last.
Braun homered on Friday. Number 22 on the year. Got Fielder coming up next. Braun walked on 4 pitches in the first inning. Now you wonder if Morgan is going to be on the move. Niger has 6 steals this year. He's 6 for 9 in stolen base attempts.
I think you stay put in this situation. You got Braun up, you got Fielder on deck.
Morgan's got a big lead. Pittsburgh certainly scouting the last series here at Miller Park. I noticed their signs at home plate. They're going through the multiple signs despite no runner at second base. So Tony La Russa's message is out. The secret's out, Rock.
Well, he's in the Pirates' head, maybe not the Brewers.
It was a bit of a sign stealing conspiracy during the Cardinals series. Tony La Russa felt the Brewers were getting signals from somewhere in the stadium. Normally you only see multiple signs with a runner at second base, but Clint Hurdle has had his Pirates pitchers do it all series long despite no runner at second. Just one more thing for the pitcher to think about. Braun having a hard time squaring up Charlie Morton. It's quickly 0-2.
Yeah, take him out of their rhythm a little bit. I mean, you know, doing something that they ordinarily don't do, but it certainly hasn't affected back-to-back starts for the Pirates, if that's in fact what they've been doing all along. Correa yesterday, and now Charlie Morton.
2 outs. Braun down on the count. Morton struck him out in the 4th. Good block from McKinley. And a ball and 2 strikes. Morton struck out Braun on that breaking ball in the 4th inning. That same breaking ball in the dirt. Ryan trying to give the Brewers a big jolt here in the bottom of the 6th. In tight. Did he go? No, he didn't, says Las Diaz. Able to check his swing, and it's 2-2.
We're pretty close right there. Up and in. Brony starts the bat and just able to hold up pretty close.
Yep, there are some first base umpires that would have rung him. Pretty sure Bob Davidson would have called him out. Close play like that. Not Las Diaz, and the Brewers catch a break. Braun with another swing. 2-2. Braun, a little bouncer foul. Morton delivering with incredible sink today. As much as you can do it with a fastball.
And he's been able to control the Brewers left-handed bats. He's had to deal with 5 of them, including the switch hitter Felipe Lopez. And those are the guys that have been giving him problems.
Another 2-2. And Braun whistles that one to center field. And Nigel Morgan will stop at second.
Man, that ball had a draw on it. Did you see that baseball as it went into center field? We have a perfect view of that. That was like a nice little draw on the golf course. That ball centered up as well as it has been all day. But a good battle between Morton and Braun. It came down to a 2-2 pitch. You can see that sinker, even when it's up in the strike zone. Morton able to get a little bit of movement on it. Brewer hitters have consistently been on top of that baseball. He got behind 0-2 very quickly, but then Braun able to center on one. And talking about a rope into center field. Looked like that one had a wrinkle in it. And I'll tell you, a little bit more of a hook, that ball would have gone to the wall.
It's like a slider off the bat of Ryan Braun. It fooled McCutchen. He actually made a nice play to keep that in front as Ray Searage makes a quick trip to the mound to chat with Morton, with fielder coming up.
That's his baseball. It's going to do a little bit of a hook right at the end, and boy, I wish I could do that on the golf course.
That's unbelievable. It's a perfect little draw right in the middle of the fairway.
Yeah, good job, as you mentioned. You know, McCutchen didn't charge it really hard, because if he did, that ball might have gotten by him.
So 2 on now with 2 away. Brewers had 2 on with 1 out in the second. Morton got out of it with a double play. Now Fielder is up in a 1-0 Pirate lead. A base hit will tie it. Fielder with a big cut. Charlie Morton pulls the string on him.
Yeah, a little curveball. You know, Prince was sitting dead red fastball, but Morton has shown a lot of poise.
2 ground ball outs for Fielder. Neither one of them hit all that well. The last one was right off the end of the bat to the mound. Little cue shot. That one's hit high to center. Won't carry. McCutchen is under it. And Charlie Morton continues to salt away the Brewers today. 6 shutout on a 3-hitter.
Out of the first inning, Andrew McCutchen's double, scoring Garrett Jones. Sean Markham has pitched well, giving up 1 run on 4 hits. He's worked out of a couple of jams. He's got 5 strikeouts, but Charlie Morton has been masterful, giving up just 3 hits, 6 shutout innings today, extending his string to 23, going for his 3rd complete game of the season, guys.
All right, Mark, thank you. And the Brewers are going to have to come up with some offense somewhere. Charlie Morton has been on his game. holding the Brewers down on a 3-hitter. Meanwhile, Markham giving up that first inning run. And nothing since as he faces Alvarez to start the 7th inning. Alvarez, Cedeno, Michael McHenry. Another swing and a miss as Markham goes back to the changeup, and it's 0-2 on Alvarez.
Yeah, back-to-back changeups to get ahead of Alvarez. You know, both located very well.
Pirates got 2 hits in the first inning, back-to-back doubles. McCutcheon's double drove in Jones for the game's only run. There was a double by Morton in the 3rd. And Cedeno had a flare single in the 4th inning. That's been it against Markham. Just 4 hits. Brewers have had a couple of chances. Their best coming in the 2nd inning with 2 on and 1 out. Double play into that frame. And Morton just retiring Prince Fielder with 2 on last inning to end it. Rolls over 1 to second. Craig Counsell takes care of Alvarez.
Hey, follow the Brewers with MLB.com at Bat 11 app for your iPhone, iPad, Android, or BlackBerry. Get live audio, pitch-by-pitch tracking, video highlights, and more. Text at Bat to 31826 or visit Brewers.com for details.
Sellout crowd at Miller Park on Beer Brower Day. And the Brewers trying to sweep the Pirates out of town. During the last homestand, the Brewers had sweeps against the Cubs and the Astros and took 2 out of 3 from the Cardinals. It was an 8-1 homestand. Cedeno bouncing ball to Betancourt. 2 gone for Sean Markham. That's 9 in a row retired by the Brewers starter.
And keeping the baseball down, very careful with his fastball, keeping it in on the hands or out off the outside corner. Well, it's really only 2 pitches that have, cost him the lead right now. The Jones double, it was a high breaking ball, and McCutcheon, he hung a slider. Both in the first inning. Since that time, he's been very good.
When you think about that McCutcheon ground rule double in the first, it was just out of the reach of Ryan Braun down the left field line. Braun gave it a good chase and came within a few inches of making the catch. And that is the difference right now in this one. It's unusual to see a 1-0 game in this ballpark. Even more unusual to see it in back-to-back games as we move into the late innings now. Big cut, 0-2 the count. Guys with big hacks just play right into the hands of Sean Markham.
Absolutely. Take a little off of all of his pitches. He'll take something off the slider. He'll add a little. Take a little off the fastball. Finger pressure here and there. Yeah.
0-2. McHenry fouls it away. Looks like McHenry has settled into that everyday job behind the plate. Pirates have used 7 different catchers this year. But McHenry, a prospect that Clint Hurdle likes and is going to let him play it out. He's done a good job back there.
It's his 41st start behind home plate, the most of any of the other catchers. That's not many. It's good to be a prospect catcher in the Pirates organization right now. Pretty good chance you're going to get a look at some point.
Markham breaks his bat.
And the amazing thing is, with all those different catchers, 7 of them, the pitching staff has still been very good. There's really not a lot of continuity in calling games behind home plate for the Pirates.
This is game number 121 for the Pirates, and their most experienced catcher, or the catcher who's played the most, just over 40 games in McKinley. Well, if you don't want to pitch, the fastest way to the big leagues, behind the plate.
Without a doubt. If you can catch and throw and call a game and hit 240, you're going to have a good career in the major leagues. Maybe not as a starter all the time, but teams need backup catchers as well. And those guys make good money.
Now think about the career of Henry Blanco, who is now with the Diamondbacks. Now, he came up as a third baseman. Mike Scioscia in the Dodgers organization moved him behind the plate. He didn't hit much. And this we're talking in the early 90s now. He's still playing in the big leagues.
Yeah.
Pushing 40 these days. Still has a job as a catcher. McHenry came through the Colorado Rockies organization and has a history with Clint Hurdle. Markham just missed. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Been a good battle here. McHenry pushing that pitch count near 100 for Markham.
Well, you don't want to make a mistake here. You've got Charlie Morton on deck. He does have a base hit, but he's hitting 051. Don't give this guy an opportunity to hit one out on you.
Off the end of the bat, Counsell right there. Craig Counsell makes a play. That is 10 in a row retired by Sean Markham. Now the Brewers trying to give him some run support. As is our custom on Sundays, we turn it over to Rob Edwards and Miller Park's presentation of God Bless America.
The singing of God Bless America, led by Martina McBride.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above.
Pirates, no runs, 3 hits for Milwaukee as we go to the bottom of the 7th inning. Morton and Markham, quite a pitcher's duel here today, Davey.
Boy, it certainly has been. 4 hits for the Pirates, 3 for the Brewers. Boy, it's been a pitcher's duel. Good pitching stops good hitting.
Now, what do the Brewers have to do here starting in the bottom of the 7th, because he's back out there?
Well, he's got to get that leadoff hitter on and then start trying to manufacture runs. They've only had the leadoff hitter on twice, and then Betancourt got thrown out on a hit and run. So they've got to try to manufacture a run here.
All right, Kotsay set to lead off for the Brewers. Davey and I standing by for Brewers Live postgame. Following the game, as the Brewers still have a chance here, obviously, to get a sweep going. And it's been a good one on the mound, kind of a reversal from yesterday's 1-0 Brewer win. Brian and Bill.
All right, thanks, Craig and Davey. Looking forward to Brewers Live postgame. Brewers on the other end of that 1-0. That 1-0 win yesterday. And Morton back on the mound against Kotsay to start it. Kotsay has one of the 3 Brewer hits. All of the hits singles. 2 singles to center field, Braun and Kotsay, and then the infield hit by Betancourt. 2 starting pitchers that are both pitching well. That's a line shot right at Garrett Jones. And a tough break for Mark Kotsay.
Yeah, Kotsay's had some very good at-bats against Morton. Morton's not going to give you a whole lot to pull, particularly for a left-handed batter, but Kotsay got one middle in and hit it hard.
Morton's pitch count, it is at 83 right now. And he is certainly looking at the finish line. Meanwhile, Markham is at 100, and his spot in the batting order is soon approaching. If his spot in the batting order comes up this inning, the Brewers will either have some runs in or have some runners on base. Betancourt with an infield hit. When it left the bat, it looked like a double down the left field line. He hit it sharply. Alvarez stabbed at it, and it trickled off his glove for a single. Brandon Wood, the new third baseman, replacing Alvarez. Hurdle tightens up defensively.
Alvarez obviously in there for his bat. He's had a rough series. So you tighten it up a little bit. You get Brandon Wood over there, making your defense on the left side a little bit stronger.
One ball, 2 strikes on Betancourt. His home run yesterday came on a 2-strike pitch. And right off the end of the bat, Cedeno to first in time. Betancourt retired. 2 gone in the 7th for Charlie Morton. And here comes Craig Counsell, and it's Craig Counsell bobblehead day. We got some reaction from his teammates.
Well, this is like bobblehead number 6 or 7, so probably the last chance to get one.
Looks just like him, head size and all.
Sure this is not his head? Probably just put it on the doll or something.
I don't know if he's got a growth right here he needs to get looked at.
You know what? You got to watch yourself on the nose, though.
Notice it's all of the bullpen commenting on Craig Counsell.
I'm with Hawk, though. That's a pointy nose. I don't think Craig's nose is that pointy, but in general, that's a pretty good bobblehead.
Counsell takes a ball, 2-0 the count. It's got a sharp edge on it.
Yes, it does. You got to be careful. Turn it around a little bit. Face forward. That's about the thinnest bobblehead I've ever seen.
Very, very fit.
It is. Sleek.
Put him next to you. Looks like a number 10. Well, we'll see if Counsell can deliver a big hit on his bobblehead day. Pulls one foul down the line.
I don't see that growth that Wolfie was talking about.
LaTroy Hawkins beginning to get loose just in case Markham's spot comes up. Could have been a bit.
Piece of dust.
Two balls, two strikes. And a swing and a miss. Charlie Morton keeps it going. 7 shutout. What a game he has had so far. We go to the 8th. 1-0 Pirates.
Picture perfect. We are calling for flat out sunshine overall. A nice day for some baseball. Your first pitch temperature up to 78 degrees. Winds from the east northeast at 6 to 12 miles per hour.
All right, thanks, Amy, and a great forecast for tomorrow's opener against the Los Angeles Dodgers. Ted Lilly, Randy Wolf starts a 4-game series tomorrow. Our Miller Lite, what's on tap? Well, the pitchers in focus today, Markham and Morton. And Charlie Morton leads off the 8th inning. It's the 3rd time in this game he's led off. Sean Markham has retired 10 in a row. Gave up a first-inning run, an RBI double by Andrew McCutchen. And the Pirates have made it hold up. Charlie Morton, impressive today, working on a 3-hit shutout through 7 against one of the league's best offenses, the Milwaukee Brewers.
Yeah. When you think about the turnaround for Charlie Morton and what he's been able to do from this year to last, it's incredible. I mean, he was 2-12 last year with an earned run average in 17 starts at 7.57. And look what he's doing now.
That makes it 11 in a row for Markham as Morton is retired. And now the real test for Markham as he gets through this batting order for the 4th time. His pitch count is at 103.
And without a doubt, his last inning, he's due up 2nd in the bottom of the 8th.
As a starting pitcher, it's like pitching without a net at this point, because starters are groomed to pitch to a decision. You want to pitch to have a chance to win. The only chance Markham has to win this game is if he finishes this inning and his offense then scores in the bottom of this frame. If he has to give way to his bullpen, then he has no chance at a victory. Xavier Paul with 1 away. Breaks his bat. Little flare. Kotsay coming in. Can't get it. A base hit for Paul. Right off the end of the bat. He shattered it in 2 pieces. And the first hit for the Pirates since the 4th inning.
Kotsay just not able to make enough ground quickly enough, and a good speed at first base. You wonder if the Pirates are going to put something in motion. A change up. The bat splits right down the middle. But ended up a base hit.
Snaps a run of 11 straight for Markham. Last hit he gave up was a single to Ronnie Cedeno with 2 outs in the 4th. And now Hawkins starts to dial it up in the bullpen.
And that was a flare to center field as well. A bloop in the right, a flare to center. The last 2 hits that Sean's given up.
Now Garrett Jones, a home run threat, has a double and a walk today against Markham. Markham struck him out looking in the 5th inning. Interesting to see the Pirates bullpen begin to get active. Morton's pitch count in great shape.
Yeah, Brewers would love to see a relief pitcher come in.
Runner goes. Lucroy's throw to second to tag, not in time.
He had him. Boy, a good throw, a decent throw is going to get him at second base. Had to throw high from Jonathan, and because of that, Xavier Paul gets a stolen base.
Looked like he got him out. Looked like the tag on Betancourt. As you see the replay here, tag is there. Oh man.
Yeah, not even close. They missed it. Wally Bell. That could be a big call in this game. But still a good throw, and it's not even close at second base.
Wally Bell standing right there. He's in a perfect spot to make that call.
Yeah, how do you miss that? How do you miss that call?
Saw the high tag and calls him safe. So a runner at second. 1 gone for Jones, and Markham misses outside. 2-0 the count. Pirates have not had a runner in scoring position since the 3rd inning. And they've only had 3 in scoring position today. Good speed at second base.
Big call down at second base. You have the middle of this order coming up. Some pretty good sticks with a man at second. It should be 2 outs and nobody on.
Rick Kranitz, Brewers pitching coach, on the phone to the bullpen, going through the scenario with his bullpen coach Stan Kiles. And you wonder how much Markham has left. 2 balls, 1 strike on Jones. And he lays off this time. And it's 3-1. Pirates are where they want to be in the batting order with a runner at second. They got Jones, McCutchen, the 2 that produced a run in the first against Markham, the only run of the game. McCutchen drove in Garrett Jones with a double in that first inning. Lost him. Ball 4, second walk issued by Markham today. They have both come against Garrett Jones. And decision time for Ron Rickie and Rick Kranitz.
Yeah, he would love Markham to get through this inning. Once again, the pitcher's spot due up second in the bottom of the 8th inning. We would certainly hate to bring Hawkins in and have to use that extra pitcher.
Renicky will let it ride. Markham against McCutchen. 2 on, 1 out. It's almost impossible to double up McCutchen unless he hits one sharply right at an infielder.
Which he did on Friday. Hit a bullet right at Betancourt, and they were able to turn 2.
He has only bounced into 5 double plays all season. And he's not chasing. That's the pitch that Markham struck out McCutchen with in the 3rd. And the risk facing a lineup for the 4th time through. McCutchen making the adjustment on Markham. Big pitch coming up. 2 balls, no strikes. First and second for the Pirates, trying to add to their 1-0 lead. Swing and a miss. Threw another one, and McCutchen Ready to rip, swings away.
Yeah, pulled his head trying to hit that one in the seats. They got him on a cutter.
Markham has pretty much stayed away on McCutchen all day. And another one. Same spot, same result. 2-2 the count.
That front shoulder flying out, looking to pull a ball to the left, and Markham just continues to stay on that outside corner.
Well, that's a big pitch for Markham. Now back in the count in his favor. What does he have in mind here? 2-2. Back out there. McCutchen fouls it away.
It's been all fastballs and cutters for Sean Markham against McCutchen in this at bat. I don't think you want to risk trying to throw a changeup. If you throw it, you got to keep it down in the zone. And anything middle in, I think you're doing McCutchen a favor. You throw anything, it's got to be away. McCutchen very susceptible to the strikeout. He will chase with 2 strikes. We've seen it in this series.
McCutchen an All-Star this year for the first time. A late add to the All-Star team. He's had a rough series, had a lot of men on base. Drove in 1 in the first. In a big spot here in the 8th. 2 balls, 2 strikes. McCutchen to center. This is playable for Niger Morgan. Paul's going to tag, and he'll stop. So a big out for Sean Markham. McCutchen retired. Now 2 outs in the inning.
See Jonathan Lucroy initially set up inside, trying to deke in case Paul was relaying signs to McCutchen. And once in a while, a hitter can sense when a catcher's inside. So he sets up inside and then pops up right on the outside corner once Markham is getting ready to throw the baseball. It's tough to do that, doing all that moving around. A lot of times you're not going to get a strike call when you do that. But it worked that time.
Ron Renicky on his way to the mound, and he's going to take the ball from Markham with the left-hander coming up. So Markham will exit. Does not have a chance to win, but he'll exit with a standing ovation on a job well done. Last night, the Brewers won 1-0. Today, it is the Pirates who have a 1-0 lead in the 8th inning. And Ron Renicky decides to make a change. Sean Markham taken out 116 pitches. And he'll go get Markham for LaTroy Hawkins here with 2 away.
Yeah, I think that's what got Sean Markham. The fact that it took him a while to get Andrew McCutchen. Had he been able to get him quickly, I think they would have left him in. But 116, obviously tiring. So you bring on Hawkins, who pitched a perfect 7th inning yesterday. Got a strikeout, and he has been very good in his last 8 appearances. He's not given up a run in 9 innings and has held the opponents to a 121 batting average.
And he's in a big spot. 2 on for the Pirates. Their best hitter is coming up, Neil Walker. Walker is 0 for 3. Was robbed of a hit by Betancourt. Made a sweet pickup on a short hop in the 3rd inning. Walker made the final out yesterday. And a bouncer right back to Hawkins. 1 pitch, inning over. Good day's work for LaTroy Hawkins. Now the Brewers coming up. Can they get something going against Charlie Morton? Nothing ball game in the bottom of the 8th, and that run came in the 1st inning, just out of the reach of Braun. McCutchen drives in Jones. Sean Markham then settled down. He pitched a gem today. Unfortunately, he is on the hook for the loss and will not factor in the decision if the Brewers come back. Charlie Morton has been that good. He has bested Markham at this point. Morton is back out there. He has gone 7 shutout innings, only 3 hits allowed, all singles. As Lucroy starts it for Milwaukee. In the history of Miller Park, there has not been back-to-back 1-0 games. And the Brewers offense is hoping to make sure that stays intact. But Morton, with a pitch count that is still in the mid-90s, about as efficient as you can be, ran into a little trouble in the 6th inning, but he got Fielder to fly out with 2 on to end the threat.
Brewers have only had 1 man at second base today. That was the at bat that you were talking about. Braun with a base hit. Morgan was at second in the 6th inning, and Prince fly to center.
Morton has been ahead of just about everybody. And then a 1-2 count on Lucroy. You got a pinch hitter due up next. Looks like Casey McGee will get the at bat. As Lucroy muscles one left field. Cedeno out, can't get it. A base hit on a knuckle buster from Jonathan Lucroy. And maybe the break the Brewers needed to get an inning started.
Yeah, that's the way the Pirates had the top of the 8th started, with a knuckle buster and off the end of the bat by Xavier Paul. They weren't able to score. This time down on the handle and just out of the reach of Ronnie Cedeno for a leadoff base runner. Leadoff base runners have been few and far between for the Brewers, only the 3rd time today.
Well, McGee was in the on-deck circle. And with that base hit, Ron Renicky pulls McGee back and will send up Josh Wilson, likely to get a bunt down here. So Renicky playing for the tie here at Miller Park, trying to advance Lucroy into scoring position.
Yeah, I think more importantly, trying to eliminate or stay away from the double play. The way Morton has been throwing ground balls. Those are inning enders, those things, those double plays. So you advance Lucroy to second, and you give the top of the Brewers order 2 shots to drive him in.
Josh Wilson off the bench, trying to bunt a runner over for Felipe Lopez, the Brewers' leadoff hitter today. He's on deck. And Wilson takes 1 ball, 1 strike. Wilson has 1 sacrifice bunt this year. He's also a good hit and run man, contact hitter. Squares again, and he gets a bunt down. A beauty. Can't do it any better than that. Charlie Morton makes a play, his only play at first. Sacrifice bunt, and the tying run in scoring position for Milwaukee.
Well, utility man called on to drop down a bunt, and he does a beautiful job of it. Brewers doing the little things these days to win ball games, dropping down bunts. Perfectly executed. Bat head out in front. And now the tying run at second base.
And the Brewer manager makes another play here as he brings on Casey McGee to pinch hit. So Lopez is out. McGee will bat with a runner at second. And Clint Hurdle is on his way to the mound, and he's bringing his infielders in.
Going to the bullpen?
I'm not sure. He sure is. He was motioning to Wally Bell. It looked like he was trying to bring his infielders in, but he is going to the pen. Morton is out.
Goodness.
And that's a small victory for Milwaukee in this inning. As good as he's been today, Clint Hurdle is going to take Morton out with a 1-0 lead. Here comes the bullpen. We'll set him up when we continue. Threatening here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Josh Wilson getting down a bunt to advance Lucroy to second. And the new pitcher is Jose Veras, his 61st appearance, and he'll be facing Casey McGee. Power arm out of that bullpen, and it's going to be Jerry Hairston to run for Lucroy at second base. So the tying run at second with McGee coming up. Power against power here. Veras has a great fastball, and McGee in a pinch hit appearance, chance to do some damage. Brewers have just 4 hits today. Charlie Morton goes 7 1/3.
Somewhat of an old school approach for Clint Hurdle and taking Morton out, in that he doesn't want to put his pitcher in a position to lose, pitching this well, a home run, and it would essentially make a loser out of Morton. So he's out. His pitch count was in great shape, and that's the only thing I can think of. Anybody but Morton's got to look good to the Brewers.
You can only watch as McGee takes a strike. Casey has had some memorable pinch hits this year. He has 2 pinch hits in 5 at-bats, and they are both home runs. Hairston out at second, and McGee out in front of one. Fly ball, shallow center. McCutchen makes the catch, and there is out number 2. Stuck with a breaking ball, did Veras. And an anxious Charlie Morton has to sit through another hitter. Nigel Morgan is coming up. Clint Hurdle is going to make another change.
Well, they've got one lefty. That's Joe Beimel, who got hammered pretty good on Friday. Gave up a couple of homers. And it might be Hanrahan, their closer. He was up earlier. This is how bad the Pirates would like to get this one, and that's who it's going to be.
It is going to be the Pirates closer. So Hurdle, I guess, feeling like he can get an inning and a third out of Hanrahan, maybe not an inning and 2/3. So Veras retires McGee, his only batter, and here comes the Pirate closer, one of the best in the league. We'll take a break. Ball game here. Final game of the series with the Pittsburgh Pirates, and Joel Hanrahan, all-star closer for the Pirates, will come on in the 8th inning to face Nigel Morgan, the former Pirate.
Now the 4th time that Joel Hanrahan is being called on to pitch more than 1 inning to pick up a save. Has not been in a save situation in the month of August. And he's got a 1.06 earned run average, second amongst NL relievers.
Saw Steve Pearce over at first on the double switch. Garrett Jones out of the game. Tying run is at second. Jerry Hairston. Nigel Morgan batting with 2 outs against Joel Hanrahan. Has not had a save since the 28th of July. The Pirates, with Hanrahan closing games, are a perfect 50-0 when leading after 8. Hurdle brings him on here in the 8th. Hanrahan never approached these kind of save numbers until this year. The most he had ever had was 9 as a member of the Nationals. And now he's got Morgan down a ball and 2 strikes.
No, he's just going to rear back and let her fly. He's got a pretty good slider. to go with a mid to upper 90s fastball.
Hanrahan was traded from the Nationals to the Pirates for Nyjer Morgan in June of '09. And a swing and a miss, gets away though. McHenry with no play. Wow. A wild pitch on a strikeout, and the inning is alive, and Ryan Braun is going to hit.
Well, that's a big mistake by the Pirate catcher. He didn't go down to block it. He tried to grab it with the glove and came up empty. Well, one more of those and it's a tie game. Here it is. Got to block that ball. Well, and the Brewers inning is alive with the big boys coming up.
Well, it goes as a wild pitch on Hanrahan, but that's a play big league catchers have to make.
In that situation, you bet.
McHenry lets it get by. Now the Brewers with a chance. First and third. The tying run at third. The go-ahead run at first. And Ryan Braun at the plate. All-star against all-star here. Braun at the plate, presented by Wendy's. And a 4-pitch walk in the first. He hit a ringing single off Charlie Morton in the 6th inning. One of the best hit balls of the afternoon against Morton. That is Morton's run over at third base. If you were following the Brewers in 2008, one of the most dramatic moments in the season in that pennant race was Braun's grand slam against the Pirates in late September that year. And there's a shot, a base hit, and we are tied. And the ball gets away from McCutchen. Nyjer Morgan advances to third. Ryan Braun delivers in a big way.
Oh, he's something else. I'll tell you what, a big mistake by the Pirate catcher. Giving Braun an opportunity, and he did not disappoint, and that was a rope into center field. Can't hit it any harder than that. The last two at-bats for Brawny. And now Prince up with the go-ahead run at third base.
Game is tied on a single from Ryan Braun. There was an error in the outfield that allowed Morgan to advance. And now Fielder is up with 2 away. The Brewers can take the lead here in the bottom of the 8th.
Well, the Pirates are playing behind Braun, trying to cover as much ground as they can with Fielder up. If Braun steals second, he'll just walk Prince. So the thinking is, I guess if you're Ryan Braun, stay put. Don't take the bat out of Prince's hand.
Fielder in the air to left. Playable for Ludwig. And that's going to do it. Side retired, but the Brewers tie it up. Ryan Braun, a clutch hit with 2 outs. A wild pitch gets him to the plate, and Braun comes through. We are tied at 1. We go to the 9th.
Help from the Pirates. It looked like the inning was over. The strikeout. The ball gets by McHenry, and this is what Ryan Braun does, and does so well. An extra opportunity and a bullet into center field on an 0-1 pitch. You can see the reaction from Ryan Braun, the enthusiasm, and we're all tied at 1 here at Miller Park as we head to the 9th.
Well, after the inning, Joel Hanrahan letting out some steam right there. Snap in the dugout. And that wild pitch that gets by McHenry. Such a big play. Hanrahan was out of the inning. John Axford, the Brewers closer, will now come in. The advantage a manager has at home in a tie game is Axford is on the mound to try to keep it at a tie game. George Kataris in to catch, and Casey McGee over at third base.
And a bit of a sidebar to that run for the Brewers. That ends Charlie Morton's scoreless streak with him on the bench.
And if you're a Pirate fan, you have to be wondering what is next for the Pirates against this Milwaukee Brewer club. Axford pours a strike in on Ryan Ludwig. The Brewers have won 7 in a row this year against Pittsburgh. Glenn Hurdle using 2 relievers last inning. Took Morton out after 7 1/3. Veras went 1/3 of an inning, and then Hanrahan 1/3 of an inning. And a blown save for Joel Hanrahan. Cue shot. Fielder has it go right between his legs. And there's a break for the Pirates. A leadoff base runner in the 9th.
Now it's probably going to be an error. That ball had some funny spin on a little cue shot off the end of Lugowitz's bat. Yeah, certainly a ball that Prince should handle, but for some reason able to get by him. A cue shot, and Prince just never really feeling all that comfortable in fielding it. That'll be an E3.
So now the Pirates have the go-ahead run aboard. And here's Brandon Wood, who entered the game at third base for Alvarez. He's up there to bunt, pops it up. Kataris is back, lays up, in and out of his glove. George had it for a moment. He had to get around the umpire.
Get around the umpire and really couldn't find it right away. Ball goes straight up, and when it's not up that high, tough for a catcher to figure out where it is. Once he saw it, he got to it, but just couldn't hold on. A home plate umpire doing a good job getting out of the way. Tough ball. I mean, tough play to handle. Your first inning, back behind home plate.
See if Wood is up there to bunt again. Axford not an easy pitcher to bunt on with that big fastball, and he zips one in at 95 for the second strike. At the time, Hurdle was tightening up his defense with a 1-0 lead, bringing Wood in. But he loses the bat of Alvarez in a spot like this. Remember, Garrett Jones has also been removed from the lineup in that double switch. Curveball missed a little high. Not by much. Brandon Wood's first at bat, the former Angel. Ron Renicky knows him well from their time with the Angels. Swing and a miss. Axford goes right down the middle, and Wood comes up empty.
Yep, 96 miles an hour right down the middle of the plate, and Brandon Wood way behind this fastball. Splits home plate right in half. A little bit of a late tail to it.
One gone here in the 9th. Ludwig still at first. Hanrahan will likely come back out for the bottom of the 9th. No activity in the Pirate bullpen. Runner goes, And Cedeno fouls it back.
Yep, hit and run. Yep, Brewers not able to execute a hit and run. The Pirates had one going right there. Ludwig, not a base stealer. And Cedeno, a pretty good guy at the plate to execute the hit and run. Makes good contact.
Cedeno's hit was in the 4th inning, one of 5 hits allowed by Markham. He will not factor in the decision here today, despite pitching very well. Markham went 7 2/3, 5 hits, 1 run. Walked 2, struck out 5 today. Turned it over to LaTroy Hawkins, who got the final out of the 8th, and now Axford here in the 9th. After the Brewers tied it up in the bottom of the 8th. Strike. Fastball on the corner, 0-2.
You want to be careful with something middle speed up in the zone to Ronnie Cedeno. Very good at just laying the bat on the baseball and shooting it into right field.
Oh, 2 to Cedeno. Down and out. Ball and 2 strikes. Axford humped up a little with that fastball. Axford walked the tightrope yesterday with a save, had a runner at third, nobody out, and got out of it. And the Brewers won 1-0. The 1-2. Cedeno takes a ball. A little flinch back there from Scott Berry, but no call, and it's 2-2.
Well, can't come much closer than that. I'm not sure how you, 1, take it, and number 2, reward a hitter for not swinging at it.
Runner at first, 1 away. And a 2-2, base hit, right field.
Yep, give him an extra pitch, and look what happens. That's that middle speed pitch that we were talking about with 2 strikes with Cedeno. He was behind the fastball. You throw the slider, and you're almost doing him a favor, and he hits it hard into right field. Missed with the curveball, went with the slider. You can see it right down the middle. And Cedeno, as we mentioned, very good at making contact and shoots it into right.
A good piece of hitting there by Cedeno. Good 2-strike hit. And now the Pirates put the go-ahead run at second. First and second, 1 out. And here is Michael McHenry. You know, McHenry would love to make amends. He did not block a slider in the dirt from Hanrahan on a pitch that Nigel Morgan swung at to strike out. That extended the inning to get Braun to the plate, who delivered the tying run. Brewers look for a ground ball to turn 2. Inning started with an error on fielder, allowing Ludwig to reach. Axford struck out Wood. McHenry fouls it away. He's late on the fastball. It's 1-2.
Everybody's been late on the fastball, and if you're going to throw that slider or curveball, make sure it's down in the dirt. Don't give him a chance to just punch it into right like Ronnie Cedeno. Up and in, breaking balls in the dirt. Georgia's got to block them.
Pirates at the bottom of their order. McHenry in the 8th spot. With Steve Pearce due up next. And the 1-2. And a strike called on the outside corner. McHenry rung up as Axford goes with the heat.
Yeah, looking breaking ball, I'd imagine. I mean, that one had plenty of the plate. Sometimes you guess with 2 strikes, this is what happens. Outer half, and he knew it.
Right to the spot.
Yeah, good solid mechanics. He tucks that glove and the power off of that back leg, and he was able to catch the corner with it.
2 gone in the inning. First and second for the Pirates in a tie game, and Pierce takes a strike. Steve Pierce came in on the double switch last inning, hitting in the 9th spot of the order. Pierce hitting .216 this season. Has a couple of hits against Milwaukee. And a swing and a miss, 0-2. Axford has found the honey spot on that outside corner with a fastball.
Yep, at 97.
45,000 plus come to their feet, helping the Axeman get through the 9th. One ball, 2 strikes on Pierce. Go ahead run at second base. Does Axford have one more in the pitch? And Pierce lays off. Good take. 2-2 the count. Looking ahead to the bottom of the 9th inning. Mark Kotsay, Yuniesky Betancourt, Craig Counsell. On Craig Counsell bobblehead day. You see where I'm headed?
I do. I like it.
Axford trying to do his job. Can he strike out the side here in the 9th inning? The 2-2. Swing and a miss. Axford punches him out. Still tied as we go to the bottom of the 9th. $45,103, the 22nd sellout of the year. And they are ready to roar as the Brewers will have a chance to win it in their final at-bat. It's going to be a final at-bat win for someone. Joel Hanrahan back on the mound. He blew a save in the 8th. A wild pitch that extended the inning, giving up a hit to Braun. That tied it up. Braun's 2-out single scored Jerry Hairston. And here is Mark Kotsay to lead off. Kotsay, Betancourt, and then Craig Counsell. Kotsay has had a game winner this year right here at Miller Park. And he was filling in for Ryan Braun. Hanrahan, fastball in there. 1 ball, 1 strike. Kotsay swung the bat well today. He singled in the 2nd inning, hit one sharply in the 7th for a line drive out. Kotsay into center field. That ball's well hit. McCutchen is back at the wall, and he's got it. Mark Kotsay, almost a game winner.
Yeah, he's been swinging about well all day. Yeah, base hit, a hard line out to first base, and now nearly ended this one. He thought it was going, I think. I think he thinks this ball's out of the ballpark. But you like the way he's running hard down to first base.
At the wall, McCutchen makes a catch. And a long, loud out. Here is Betancourt. Wrong part of the ballpark. Yeah, the deepest part.
Yeah, pulled a little bit, Mark.
Still can't believe it. Well, we'll see if Betancourt can turn one around. Hanrahan has triple-digit velocity. We haven't seen it so far today, but he's been at 100 miles an hour plenty in his career.
The last one was 98, and he's oiled up pretty good right now.
All tied at 1, bottom of the 9th. Craig Counsell on deck. Two and two. Takashi Saito, in case this one goes to extra innings. Pirates scored in the first inning on a double by McCutchen. Brewers tied it on a 2-out RBI single by Braun. That was in the 8th. Now we're in the 9th in a tie game. 2-2 pitch and a swing and a miss. Betancourt strikes out. 2 gone in the inning. And on Craig Counsell bobblehead day, he strides to the plate in front of 45,000. How's your storybook ending shaping up?
Yeah, good time for his first home run of the year.
Counsell down the line, foul. That is a foul ball called by Laz Diaz.
The Pirates guarding the lines both at third and first. The only reason Pierce able to grab that. Playing no doubles.
Counsell is 0 for 2 today. He was hit by a pitch in the second inning, the only time he's reached. 2 outs, bottom of the 9th in a tie game. Corey Hart is on deck if Counsell can reach. One and two the count on Counsell. Looking for a mistake from Hanrahan. Counsell getting the start at second base today. Two-two pitch. Counsell fouls it back. Spoiled a 99-mile-an-hour fastball from Hanrahan.
Yeah, Counsell hoping for a breaking ball mistake up in the strike zone, you know. But still able to get a piece of that big fastball from Hanrahan. He throws his slider about as fast as Markham's fastball.
Another 2-2 on the way. Counsell fights it off. The kind of at bat you'd expect from Craig Counsell.
Shadows starting to creep in here at Miller Park.
Another 2-2. Council cuts through. And down he goes on strikes. 1-2-3 inning for Joel Hanrahan. Mark Kotze came close. Hanrahan gets through it. Extra innings at Miller Park. Beef jerky all season long. Jack Link's beef jerky. Feed your wild side. Our Ho-Chunk Gaming text question today. Tom wants to know what goes into the manager's decision to pick a pinch hitter.
Well, it's going to be easy for Ron Renicky in the bottom of the 10th. Corey Hart's going to pinch hit for the pitcher because he's the only guy left on the bench. That makes it a little bit easy, but you decide on matchups whether you need a guy to get a base hit or you need a home run threat. Those are the types of things that you keep in mind. You're down by 2, a guy on, you pick a guy that might be able to hit one out of the ballpark. You pick Josh Wilson because of his ability to drop down a bunt.
Well, Renicky still has some hitters at his disposal as we move into extra innings. Takashi Saito will come on to pitch. And the fact that both starters went deep into this game, Charlie Morton 7 1/3, Sean Markham 7 2/3. Both teams in pretty good shape in their bullpen. Saito facing Xavier Paul. Pirates at the top of their order now. Paul had a single, a stolen base. He was stranded at second in the 8th inning. And Paul goes to third, bounces off of McGee. Betancourt with no play.
Yeah, Brewers kicking it around pretty good. Yeah, second error in as many innings, and both of them leadoff errors. Ain't going to win many games doing that. Yeah, Casey in at third base. It was right at him, just rolled right up his glove, and Xavier Paul on being the E5.
Yep. Last inning, it was Fielder committing an error on Ludwig to start an inning. And here comes Josh Harrison, the nephew of Brewers coach John Shelby. Getting an at bat. See if he's up there to bunt.
Yeah, the Pirates have Matt Diaz left. He's a right-handed batter, and Ryan Doman a switch hitter.
First year in the big leagues, Harrison. Saw him as a pinch runner yesterday, made his major league debut this season. He was having a big year in the International League in AAA. He was hitting .310 in Indianapolis. Not a lot of home run power. It's a contact hitter, a speed player. Runner goes, and a push bunt. Saito makes the play to first for the out. That was a terrific play by Saito. It had disaster written all over it for a moment.
Yeah, he threw that one, almost hit the runner going down first base. So good concentration by Counsell. Never losing sight of that baseball and getting the out. Well, if that ball hits him in the shoulder, goes down in the corner, the Brewers are in rough shape. Watch this. Look out, almost hit him right in the back of the head with it. But a nice play by Saito to get the out.
Interesting that the Pirates sent the runner and yet still had the bunt on. And a bunt that was popped up. Could have easily been a double play.
Somebody must have missed a sign.
So Paul ends up in scoring position with one out. Anytime you see Takashi Saito make a play like that, you wonder how that 41-year-old body holds up. He spent a lot of time on the disabled list this year. A hamstring injury, an oblique injury. Facing McCutchen with the go-ahead run at second. McCutchen was up with 2 on in the third and struck out. Had 2 on and 1 out in the 8th inning, and he flew out to center. He has the only Pirate RBI today, though, as he shoots one foul.
And he's been up 3 times today with men in scoring position. He cashed in once, but has not been able to drive in another.
McCutchen is the top run producer for the Pirates. Ryan Ludwig has 1 more RBI, but did most of that work in San Diego. McCutchen with 68 ribbies now for the year. Brewers coming off an extra inning win in St. Louis to improve their record to 5-6 in extra innings this year. That was on Tuesday night in St. Louis. Pirates are 5-6 as well. Swing and a miss. McCutchen taking a huge hack on a breaking ball.
And looking to pull everything is Andrew McCutchen. And pulling that shoulder, trying to hit one out of here. Keep that slider down and away. You've got to like your chances.
An anxious sellout crowd here. Very quiet with the Pirates threatening in the 10th. Saito deals. McCutchen just got a piece. Count stays at 2-2 on Andrew McCutchen. Paul has good speed at second, likely to score on a base hit. Nigel Morgan very deep in center field. And now Saito wants to go through the signs again with Kataris.
Yeah, big pitch, deciding where do they want to go. Fastball away or slider away. And you know they don't want to mess around on the inside corner, not the way McCutchen is swinging the bat in this series. Looking for something in every time.
Everybody's ready. 2-2 to McCutchen. McCutchen lays off. Pretty good slider. That's where Saito wanted it, but McCutchen able to take it. Ball 3. Count is full now. Got Neil Walker coming up next, a left-handed hitter. Brewers do not have a left-hander in their bullpen. Saito's probably the best option against lefties. That one's hit in the air to left, hooking foul in the seats.
Yeah, hung that one, left it up in the zone right down the middle, got away with it. McCutchen hit it hard, but it hooked it foul. Don't throw another one up there.
Saito does a couple of things with his slider. He has the one that goes down and the one that goes across. And he's thrown a lot of breaking balls in this sequence to McCutchen. See what he gives him here. 3-2. Qatar setting up inside with a fastball, and they foul it away. McCutchen was late. It's a risky pitch.
He got a little bit too much of the plate with it too, but with all the breaking balls that McCutchen's seen in this at bat, middle into right on the inside corner. A pretty good pitch.
Got him. Back to the breaking ball. McCutchen down on strikes. Out number 2 for Takashi Saito.
Yep, all day long and all series long. And keep away from McCutchen. There's a slider that was way off the outside corner. Watch the front shoulder of McCutchen. It's gone as soon as Saito gets rid of it.
2 outs. Runner at second. And here is Neil Walker. And a right-hander on deck, Ryan Ludwig, and Rickie will order the intentional walk with the left-handed batter.
Ryan Rickie doesn't do this very often. Intentional walks few and far between, the least of any team in the National League this year.
Well, the Brewers have only issued 12 intentional walks all season. This will be number 13.
Closest team, the Diamondbacks. They've issued 14 of them.
So Rickie likes the matchup with Saito and Ludwig, and he'll put Walker aboard. Rick Kranitz, the pitching coach, on his way to the mound to chat with Saito. And if you're wondering, Saito does bring a translator, but he speaks baseball language, I guess is the best way to put it. There's no communication problems in a meeting like this. There's Kosuke Inaji, the translator for Takashi Saito.
Yeah, he understands up and in, down and away.
That's right.
Don't give him anything to hit, but don't walk him. That's universal in any language.
Most of the translating that goes on with Saito has to do with the media, things around the ball club, community relations, and what have you. So no communication breakdown here as Kranitz gets his message across, and Saito will go to work against Ludwig. Four at-bats, 4 strikeouts, lifetime against Saito.
That's a good reason to walk the guy in front of him. Absolutely.
Chris Resop in the Pirate bullpen. First and second, 2 gone. Top of the 10th in a tie ball game. Ludwig takes a strike.
Well, you got to figure if you're Ryan Ludwig, you're sitting up there at the plate looking for a slider. That's why Saito started him out with 2 fastballs. A lot of sliders to McCutchen, and hasn't given him one yet.
Remember, this inning started with an error. Xavier Paul reaching on an E5. He's now at second. Saito deals a 1-1 outside, ball 2. While Neil Walker might be the Pirates' best hitter, arguable with Andrew McCutchen, Ludwig, the Pirates' most experienced hitter in a pennant race. All those years with the Cardinals. Slider. Did he go? No, he didn't. And now Ludwig has the count in his favor at 3-1.
Hip slider, and Ludwig offered at it, was able to hold up. And he did. I guess this is where you start looking for the fastball now at 3-1. It's apparently Ludwig sitting slider until this count, I would imagine. You got to look fastball here. Let's see what they give him. Best pitch for Saito is that breaking ball.
Ludwig, a power hitter. And a power hitter's count, 3-1. And a fastball miss. The bases are loaded. So Ludwig draws the walk. And it's going to be Brandon Wood now with the bases full.
Now Ludwig was probably going up there looking slider, and Saito started him out with 3 consecutive fastballs. Tried to get him to chase on a 2-1 count. The slider able to hold up and then walked him with a fastball away.
So the Pirates load the bases, but go from one of their most experienced hitters to one of their least in Brandon Wood. And a little cue shot in front of the plate. And that's a fair ball. Kataris steps on home plate to end the inning. What a way to end it. That ball was rolling back foul. Kataris, a nice job to get to it and makes it easy. Tie game, bottom of the 10th coming up. The Brewers at bat. Endings are imposed and inflicted. Back up the middle, Betancourt. Oh my God! My goodness! Did that just happen? Finishes are earned and celebrated. Morgan down the right field line, and the Brew Crew pull one out tonight. Nigel Morgan, a walk-off double. It's the last word, the closing act, the final step, the whole point. We don't remember the start. We never forget the finish. Counsell to left. Heisey is back. He makes the catch. Here comes Kataris. The throw is short. And this one is in the books. And are we set up for another fantastic finish here today? Sunday afternoon at Miller Park. Sun shining brightly, and the Brewers trying to sweep the Pirates out of town. Chris Rhysop on the pitch for Pittsburgh. All tied at 1. We go to the bottom of the 10th inning.
Yeah, veteran right-hander, and he's in his 59th appearance. Second only to Veras out of the bullpen. You can see the strikeouts. 62 punch-outs in 52 innings.
Corey Hart, the last hitter available for Ron Renicky. He pinch hits to start the 10th inning. Pinch hitting in the pitcher spot for Saito. And there's a strike. Corey Hart, George Kataris, and then Casey McGee. Saito, a scoreless inning, works around an error, strands the bases loaded. Axford win a scoreless 9th inning. Brewers have gotten 2 1/3 scoreless from their bullpen once again today. Continues to be a big story. And Milwaukee trying to climb this list. They would join the Nationals with a win here today. Most victories in their final at bat. Hartcutt ended with 1 swing of the bat. The 1-1. Hart fouls it away, 1-2.
And Ricop will give up some home runs. He's given up 7 home runs out of the bullpen, and 7 of the last 8 runs that he has allowed have come via the home run ball. So from time to time, he will leave a pitch up in the zone for you to knock out of the ballpark.
Ricop pitch yesterday. Well, it has to be tough to see. This is advantage pitcher at this time of the day as the sun shines through the panels above the first base grandstand area.
Yeah, you're in the sun, and then what your eyes see behind the pitcher is all shade. Tough on the eyes.
Hart with 17 home runs this year. All even up 2-2 in the count. Corey Hart's first at bat. Count stays at 2-2. Brewers pulled this one out of the ground in the 8th inning. Ryan Braun with an RBI single with 2 outs. After Morgan had struck out, but there was a wild pitch on the swing and miss that extended the inning. And a blown save for Joel Hanrahan. Another 2-2. Hart swings, lifts one in the air to right. Back is Paul with room. Out number 1.
Got a fastball up in the zone. 95-96 for Ricop, but he's got a very good curveball. Left that one upstairs, and Corey got a pretty good swing at it.
Brewers have had a couple of close calls. Mark Kotze almost ended it last inning, sending Andrew McCutchen deep to left center field. Now Kataris, perhaps his signature moment as a Brewer here. George has plenty of pop, a couple of home runs this year. Well, the Brewers in the 8th inning. Pinch ran for Lucroy. With Jerry Hairston. Hairston ended up scoring the run, which forced Kataris into the ball game, his first at bat.
At the cupboard bare right now for Ron Renicky. No position players left on his bench.
Kataris to the opposite field, a base hit. George continues to deliver with big late game hits and at bats. And a single to the opposite field gives the Brewers the potential winning run on base for McGee.
Yeah, just a nice approach for Kataris. Fastball outer half, goes right with it. That's a pretty swing. The Pirates had him shaded up the middle at short, which is why Cedeno couldn't get there. Now you don't have any bats on the bench. That means you don't have any pinch runners on the bench, and you wouldn't do it with your only catcher on first.
Craig Counsell would be the emergency catcher if it got to that point. Casey McGee would like to have everybody jog around to finish this one. All tied at 1. McGee takes a ball down and away.
There's that curveball. The Pirate outfield extremely deep out there, trying to cut off the gaps, avoid the extra base hit, which means there's a lot of room in front of them for a flare.
McGee had a big hit on Friday night, a 2 RBI triple. Led to a Brewers 7-2 win. It was a 1-0 win yesterday, and the Brewers now a chance to sweep the Pirates. Brewers have turned over the lineup. McGee officially in the leadoff spot in the batting order that was originally occupied by Lopez. Casey's second plate appearance. Got Nigel Morgan on deck, then Braun. Two and one. This is an anxious crowd here. Or just completely worn out after a long weekend. 45,000. Fairly quiet in the bottom of the 10th.
A little bit of both, I think.
It is Bierbauer Day. The 2-1. McGee down the right field line. That ball's pretty well hit. Paul is on the run. Can't get it. It's off the wall. Contreras on his way to third. That's a double for Casey McGee. Second and third. One out.
Boy, he does that as well as anybody with the Brewers. Got that high fastball out away from and just hit a bullet down the line. The only reason George didn't score wasn't sure Xavier Paul was going to catch it or not. Paul was playing deep, if you remember. All he had to do was go across. George couldn't really get a good break on that baseball. That is vintage McGee right there. That high fastball. Paul came pretty close to it, which is why George had to hold up a bit.
A double for McGee. Ray Searage on his way to the mound, talking strategy here. You got one of the best bunters on the team coming up in Morgan.
When you know Nigel's going to get something to hit, you got Braun on deck, who has already hit 2 laser beams into the outfield.
Braun tied it in the 8th inning. And you know Morgan would love nothing more than to deliver against his old club.
Well, you know the infield's going to be in. And Nigel's due today.
And Morgan is 0 for 3 with a walk. He struck out in the 8th inning, but the pitch was in the dirt, and it got away from McHenry. Morgan reached, and that set up Braun's game-tying hit. Now Morgan with tees everywhere for Tony Plush. Infield in for the Pirates. The winning run at third base. Morgan in the right, way back, plenty deep. Paul is there, makes the catch. Here comes Contreras, and that is your ball game. The Brewers win again. Nigel Morgan delivers. 2-1 the final, and Milwaukee sweeps the Pirates. The legend lives. Tony Plush, our Menards player of the game. Another game winner for Nigel Morgan. The Brewers stay hot at home as they sweep the Pirates. And they'll remain at least 5 games up. The Cardinals play later tonight against the Colorado Rockies. And a 2-1 final score, Rock. As Tony Plush knew he got it plenty deep. And that's how this one ends today.
I tell you, it's amazing the way these guys seem to be able to jump off the mat and, you know, down by a run late in the ball game. And Nigel Morgan, it's somebody different every single day with this ball club. They just continue to come up with different ways to win games. Heck of a game here at Miller Park.
The Brewers now 8-0 against the Pirates this year, and go to 44-15 at home. And this big crowd of 45,103 goes home happy. Let's send it down to Mark Concannon, who is with Ryan Braun. Mark.
All right, B.A., thank you. Ryan Braun coming up to me right now. And, Bronny, the beat goes on. How fun is this to win in front of a packed house and a tremendous victory? You guys were scuffling all day.
Yeah, it's amazing. Great win for us. The fans were incredible. Unbelievable atmosphere. It's just electric, and it seems like we feed off that. So T-Plush coming through again with a huge hit for us. Sean Markham threw the ball great. We found a way to win.
You guys have been finding ways to win. One of the best teams in the league at 1-1 victories. You got another one today.
Yeah, I mean, you try to win in as many different ways as possible. You know, it'd be nice to win by 3 or 4 runs all the time, but it doesn't always happen that easily. So you just continue to compete, continue to fight every day, and try to find a way to win.
You got the big hit to tie the game. Walk us through that at bat.
You know, Joe Hanrahan's been one of the best relievers in baseball this year. He's been dominant, so I was just trying to get the barrel to something, and fortunately hit it where they weren't, so it worked out for us.
I guess at this point, if you're in first place, obviously if you keep sweeping series, but if you could just keep winning series, that's got to bode well the rest of the way.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I think the goal for us all year has just been to focus on that day. You know, the task at hand, just try to win the next day's game, and that's it. You know, you don't look too far ahead. You don't really worry about winning series. You try to win every game by itself.
Ronnie, congratulations. Thanks.
Cool. Thanks.
All right, Craig, what else is next on Brewers Live as I look for T-Plush? He flew up the tunnel. We're going to go get him.
Yeah, you're on the chase, Mark. That's what's coming up next. We got to deliver Niger Morgan to the Brewers Live postgame podium for sure. Brewers with another sweep as they keep rolling along in first place. Brewers Live postgame is next.